right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the 5th episode of the BriGuyCast podcast. Today with me, I have Lana Del Make, a returning guest, Bert Force, a brand new guest, and also the Coefficient, another new guest. How you guys doing?
Good, buddy. How you doing?
Doing great.
I'm
dude.
doing fantastic, thank you.
Doing pretty good.
Robert might be a little distant. He's farming Grand Blue right now.
I know.
Oh,
For all interested.
Thanks, guys.
Damn, actually, you got the nice picture of me and everything. Damn, good stuff.
Yeah, dude. I was like, I guess I'll just go on his Twitter and just take that.
Yeah, just take it off Twitter.
That works.
I like
Yeah,
the Chloe one for Mark. That's a good one.
I was gonna take that picture that you have of you looking shocked or whatever, that emote that everybody loves using. But I was like, nah, dude, I just gotta use that. I gotta use that Twitter image. That's a really good image.
Oh wait, are you talking about
Sick.
the clickbait Hermes picture?
Yeah, I think that's
Which
what
was
it is.
the clickbait one? Which what?
I think it's like the one
The-
where you're
the
doing like
surprise
the
one.
ooh face or like the oh.
Hmm.
I don't know which one it
Okay.
is. Anyways, it's
I'm
in our
not sure
it's in
which
our
one, but-
AFGC chat.
Okay. Oh, I should check out those emotes. I didn't know that was on there.
Yeah, I think it's in there. Unless somebody got rid of it. I don't know. Somebody could have got rid of it, but anyways. The reason why we are here today with all these fine folks is that our good buddy Lana Del Make, also known as Mark to all of us who know him and love him, he was recently on a podcast for SF/R, and he got a little bit of time to talk about things that were going on in the scene, but he didn't really get to fully express himself. You know, it tangented off into Street Fighter stuff, and it's a Street Fighter podcast, so of course, I mean, that's warranted. But I wanted to have him here so he could say his piece. He could talk about everything he needs to, and yeah, that's kind of what this podcast is today. So
Okay, well,
if
should
you
we
want to
just
get right
started
into
then?
it, or if you want to have
Take
a
it
little
away,
chit-chat,
amigo. He's
Oh,
handing the reins
shit.
off to you.
let's go, dude. Let's go. I'm ready.
This is the
Okay,
Mark
well,
Man show.
the Mark Man show.
The Mark Guy Shard.
Mark Guy.
Mark Guy
The
show.
Mark
There
Guy
it is.
show. Yeah.
Okay, well, shoot. So, I guess where we're gonna start is like we'll have like a brief overview of just like the history of the Utah fighting game scene from the time that I got in to, I guess, now.
The time where you got out.
Yeah, at the
shit.
time I got
Mark,
out.
this is Mark's retirement podcast right here. He's done.
This is a farewell, Mark.
Okay, so
Can we get a
I-
can we get an Evo farewell Mark video?
Yeah, farewell. No, I'm gonna start crying like James Chen, dude. That's it.
Like James Chad.
Oh, no.
after they do the "You're All Free" video.
You're all free now.
Okay. So I got into the scene.
No, we got Robo Mark.
Oh, Robo Mark, a little bit.
Damn,
A little
God
bit.
damn it.
Are you on Wi-Fi? Are you on Wi-Fi, Mark?
I'm on my phone right now.
Dang.
All right, switch to Wi-Fi, dude.
Can we get a
Oh.
GoFundMe for a PC for Mr. Mark?
God damn it.
Yeah,
Actually, actually,
that's right after. We'll start the GoFundMe right after the Evo farewell video.
Please.
okay. How does that sound? Do I sound
You're
okay?
good.
There
Yes,
you
you
go.
do.
Okay. So I got into the scene here when I was 15, and things were
We're a baby.
kind of.
My goodness.
Yeah, I was a little baby. I was the youngest person in the scene. Now I'm one of the oldest, dude. It feels bad, man.
Crazy, right?
Anyway, so the difference between then and now is really, really kind of hard to elaborate properly unless you've actually been in the scene. So back then it was we were all 09ers pretty much, and there's a lot more I don't know, aggression in the scene then as opposed to now. Now we're just kind of all more I don't want to
More
say
competition,
PC,
you mean?
but not necessarily more competition, but aggressive in the fact that we were all kind of like assholes.
Oh, I gotcha.
But yeah, so that's kind of how it was early, and going over into like the present day time, I guess, is everything's getting a little bit more mature, more like stable or whatever. But that has to do with like a whole bunch of other like happenings or events that went through in the scene that really pushed us to go in that direction. And one of those things was kind of like the rise of Gus and Renzo
Mhm.
and the effect it had on us as a scene. So, in case anybody's unfamiliar with the general story or lore of Gus and Renzo, they were kind of shitty in Street Fighter 4 at the very beginning. Like, not gonna lie, I remember hearing tales of how Gus would go like 0-2 really quick early on in the tournament.
Who was the king back then?
What's that?
Who was the king back then?
Who was the king? His name was Brian.
Brian.
Oh, it
was
was
a-
me,
yeah.
dude. It was me.
Oh, I
Oh,
wish, dude. Can you
no.
imagine?
Dude,
I
you guys
think-
need to check out my.
Steven back then was really good too, right?
Who was?
Mr. SRM Slinkun? Or was
Oh,
that
yeah.
after
So,
that?
oh, Slink. Oh,
Mr.
Steven?
Yeah.
Steven didn't come into our scene until like AE, I think.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yeah. But the whole thing with Gus and Renzo is that they kind of like hardcore buckled down and studied, and like went into the proverbial hyperbolic time chamber to really like step shit up. And then after that, it was like Gucci. They were like fucking flying through the rest of the people. And that just kind of goes like in the direction of helping each other as opposed to like the entirety of the scene. You know
right.
what I mean?
So they just kind of
Right.
like would have like solo practice sessions and just kind of help themselves like get better instead of like the general scene coming to them and asking for them to get help, I guess. Or
Exactly, yeah.
something like that. Like they were training 2 units instead of the whole army, I guess.
Right. So at that point there was that it was a big old
Robo Mark's back.
God damn it. Okay, there's like a I don't want to say
I don't know what's happening, Mark, but
I
is it
don't
really
know.
getting that bad?
Yeah.
it's being super robot-y.
Okay, I'm gonna actually have to switch to my Mac here.
Okay.
Okay.
Give me 1 second. give me 1
Hey,
second.
Apple Mac. I love it.
In the meantime, just kind of like
I got you. Oh, we got you.
All right.
While he
Alright, guys.
switches over and stuff, let's just go with some small talk. The stuff that nobody wants to
Yeah.
hear. All right. First
Okay.
and foremost, is Vasaraga good in Grand Blue?
Is Vasaraga good in Granblue? Yes.
Fucking
Okay,
just
'cause
switching it straight to
I-
Grand Blue shit.
I have him, so I'm like,
Yeah,
okay,
he's pretty good.
I hope
Yeah.
he's good. And
Yeah,
then,
he's
I,
pretty
and
good.
then I
Solid-
also
solid
got
character.
this Lady Gray. Is she good?
Yes. Yeah, she's good
Okay.
too. Yeah,
Just
actually,
letting you
both
guys
are
know the viewpoints of Grand Blue Fantasy do not reflect what the BriGuyCast podcast has to offer.
Ah, you can offer so much more than just Grand Blue, Brian.
No, okay,
You
so
can
I got.
expand beyond your horizon.
Is Mark having you try to do the wind meme teams because that's apparently the
No.
poverty way of doing it? Okay,
What is that?
I tried to do because apparently the wind team is like the easiest team to like play when you don't want to spend money.
Ooh.
And so I have a win team, and I pretty much just spent my days grinding Tiamat for Tiamat bolts, and
I might have to do that.
I'm telling you, it's not a good time. I was grinding for about like 2 months straight, and like barely getting one like every probably couple hundred grinds. It's like ridiculous.
Jesus.
And I think you needed almost a full grid of Tiamat bolts and a couple more
Yes.
things. But not only
Okay.
that, you needed the full grid, and then you needed to get more Tiamat bolts to upgrade the Tiamat bolts you have, like to give them skill ups. So it was pretty rough.
Damn.
fucking damn it. Are we really on this already?
Oh,
Hey,
okay,
hey,
cool.
hey.
You're back.
Hey! It wasn't my
Commercial's
idea.
over now.
I leave for like 30 seconds and we're already talking
gotta-
about fucking
we got-
Grand Blue.
Hey man,
You
got lots
You
of
could
questions.
blame a coefficient here.
We got a shill for Granblue here. you know?
Okay. All right.
I gotta get one of those. I gotta get one of those Grand Blue Versus codes, dude. I need to get a key.
Hi games, yo. I'm out here. I'm rank 178 in Grand Blue. Hook me up with a code. I'll shill for you every single fucking day, dude.
Damn, that's actually really high, isn't it?
Hey,
Yes.
I stopped playing your
Level
game.
20.
I stopped playing your
Yeah.
game, and I'm playing another game, but another Mobage. But hey, you know what? I used to play it, and give me a key.
Uh-huh. All right. Anyways, where were we at?
Where were we?
So Gus and Renzo's rise.
Okay,
Rise to
yeah.
fame.
Yes.
Okay, so that's one of the big things I think that really pushed them in that direction. Improvement of themselves over improvement of everyone else, which made it extremely difficult for people to really step it up in a positive direction when the only people that were actually getting help were people who Gus and Renzo individually thought were good enough to get help from them.
Oh wow! So they were selectively choosing people too, huh? They wouldn't even
Yeah.
accept.
Gatekeeping.
Wow, that's actually nuts.
Gatekeeping. So, review. That's just kind of like what happened from then till now, I guess. And now since Street Fighter V has come out, the game, he's really not interested in Street Fighter V. He's more of a CrossFit athlete now, which is kind of cool. But
Yeah, Renzo's doing wonders.
Gus, though, he's he won what was it?
Northwest Majors.
It is supposed to be like awful, I guess.
You're still kind of
cutting
being
out.
roboty and cutting out.
I have no idea what's going on. I'm gonna be completely honest. No idea.
But yeah, I think you were meaning to say with G. He won Northwest Majors with G, which is not considered to be the best character right now. Right?
Yeah. Lots of Japanese players consider him to be one of the worst characters in the game.
Which is weird because
And-
when he first came out, it was just like kind of the opposite, right? People
Yeah,
calling
he
him
seemed like he was
brain
gonna
dead.
be super fucking absurd.
Yeah, and I don't know much about Street Fighter V, but he looks like he's pretty good in that game. I don't know.
Yeah. He looks
does
really
what-
good.
He does
Yeah.
what he's basically like. He reminds me a lot of Balrog. He's basically Mr. Steal Your Win. It's just like when he activates V Trigger, it's like, all right, let me steal this round from you.
Yeah, his
Yeah.
V trigger was like actually crazy in that game.
Yeah.
Like he actually like made me want to just pick up Street Fighter V for like $5 at the local GameStop and purchase
Yeah, right.
the DLC and play it, dude. Yeah, he looks sick.
You're brave, man. I would never do that just from seeing one fucking character.
Well, to be honest, he's the
Dude.
president. If there was a character, it would be him.
Okay.
I mean, and I'm
He's
not
pointing
losing
at
much.
you, you know.
Okay, so listen, dude. You could buy that game new for $5 at GameStop. I could buy it pre-owned for like $3. Take it back in a couple weeks, you know, easy.
But you got to pay for the season
75
pass
cents
or
for that?
the DLC character.
I'm not paying for the season pass. I'll buy this DLC character for like what, like $5?
Yeah,
Okay.
$5.
Okay.
More than the game's worth. Shit, dude.
Yeah, right. G's more than the actual game itself. Can you believe that? That's nuts.
But yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
now Gus is, stepping it up a little bit, but he didn't have that much success in 5 for a long time. And now the fact that he did finally win one tournament after how long has this game been out? Fucking 3-4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It kind of puts him back in that mentality of, I worked so hard for this. Now grovel at my feet, peasants.
Really?
I mean, just look at his fucking Twitter, and you can kind of see that it's.
I don't even think I have him on Twitter or followed on Twitter.
Oh, I don't either. But if you ever just go on to check this shit, you can kind of see the ego that he had.
Yeah,
So
he
what
definitely
was it?
struggled at the beginning of SF5. He had a big identity crisis, like character
Oh, yeah.
crisis.
There was
for the longest
something-
time.
I can't remember what it was, but there was something. Was it like a con or something, or like a gaming con or something like that? Because I think like the first time I ever like recognized him, or like not even recognized him, but knew who he was like I went to like some con and they were like just shilling for this guy. They're like fucking Street Fighter 4 champion of tournaments, blah 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 blah, and like just like seemed like they were like sucking his dick off, and I was like, who the fuck is this guy?
Oh shit.
Well, because like that was like when I barely joined the scene, and
Right.
at that point I never seen this fucking guy. Apparently he was a Utah like dude,
Prodigy.
because his like name was like 801. It was like 801 what? I can't.
One Strider.
Yeah, 801
Oh,
Strider.
Strider.
Yes. So like he was 801 Strider, and like I was like, I've never seen this guy at any casuals or anything. That was the first time I heard of him, was when a convention was like shilling for this guy.
Mhm.
And that's it. that's all I know about him pretty much. And then I looked into him a little more later, but that was the first I ever heard of him.
Wait. Just real quick. I don't remember. Mark, didn't you rock an 801 name too? For like a very
I never
even if it was made up. Like, well, not like
that's
official.
Actually, kind of scene lore itself, the 801 tag that I'll go over in a little bit, but yeah, this is just the whole thing with like status of like fighting game or just esport players in general, you know? Like once they have that taste, it's kind of hard to like come back down. They're like, oh gosh, if they're like really, really immersed in the culture, I suppose you could say. Fucking video games, you know. But this kind of just brought up like a whole lot of drama in the scene that part of, and I didn't necessarily really help with that at all. But yeah, so that's basically just kind of like a really brief overview of them.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
started. There was kind of like a privileged mentality there.
Right.
Kind of
Right.
goes with MD. I'm not sure if you guys have ever met him outside of Hermes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course.
Definitely know Andy.
In case anybody doesn't know, or I didn't even mention it on our Street Fighter podcast, I can't remember.
You did.
Essentially, or both Renzo and Gus's way, like really early on in Street Fighter 4, they were like, you know, doing work. They were practicing a lot and all that kind of stuff, and he was essentially kind of widening the gap between them as they already were. That in itself really didn't contribute much in the way of like growth, because as soon as he started doing that, they started using the 801 tag to show, okay, we're from Utah, you know.
Right.
And anyone else wanted to go to a tournament to rep Utah, they were not allowed to use the 801 tag.
Wait, really?
They weren't allowed to use it, period, because it was Andy's tag, quote unquote, to give to players he thought were worthy to sponsor.
Interesting.
So you can just take the area code of your local state and make it so nobody else can use that in a tournament. What the fuck?
He literally kept the state you're from.
Yeah, that is actually like ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, with Mike Ross's interpretation of there being no scene in Utah, that's one of the main things that actually pushed it in that direction, is that we didn't necessarily have people who from our scene who weren't going, that weren't like Gus and Renzo. They just weren't allowed to tell people they were from Utah.
Wait, what?
No, literally, it's the fucking craziest shit ever. Like, it literally is mental. It makes absolutely no sense.
Mm-hmm.
Huh,
this isn't still
crazy.
a thing, right? Like,
no, it can't be. It can't be because there's no like that whole thing is like not a thing anymore.
oh, okay.
We've got most of the control of our scene now, but
I get you.
As far as Andy goes, he hasn't been part of the scene since the original Game Tyrant days. After
season
5. Yeah, in season 1.
Yeah.
And he just kind of like that because I guess he finished his residency or whatever, and now is like teaching up at the U for medicine or whatever.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, yeah. So when it comes down to it, I don't know, bitching and shouting from us lowly peons, echelon of people, aka, you know, Gus, Renzo, and Andy, and a few others, like the dick suckers or the thing.
We might be getting some robot Mark again.
Yeah.
But I wonder if we could like open up like a DM group I don't know if it's
Yeah.
like the server itself.
Oh
Yeah,
I'm
let's
doing
try to like do like a call. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's try that.
Okay.
That
Cool.
might be better.
BRB then.
Sorry guys, we're just figuring this out. I need to. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, I'll put on the be right back real quick until we figure this out.
Where have you been? Been searching all along, confessing while alone and on, without a clue, without a sign, without grasping it. The real question to be asked: where have I been? I'm a sharpshooter. Masquerade, hiding both face and mind, all free for you to draw. I'm a sharpshooter. What else should I be? Please don't take off my mask, revealing dawn. Moments of calm, nothing left to be found. A mirror right in front of me, that's where I found an empty glass.
I think this should hopefully resolve it.
Yeah, hopefully. Maybe we were just having a problem with the servers. Alrighty,
Mm.
we're back.
Okay.
We'll edit that out in post.
Yeah, post. Yeah, we'll edit that out. Don't worry about it. Anyways, I think we were talking about like Andy and how he took them all in, right?
So yeah, so the full fucking tag like ownership thing.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Is one of the main reasons why there's a whole lot of fucking Utah players, even though, at least in our scene, that we've had bunches of fucking players like make it to top 8 and fucking Evo and shit.
A
Blaze
variety
Blue,
of people
I
from
think,
variety of
yeah,
games.
fucking Blaze Blue,
We got Steve.
Kelly and Mortal Kombat 9 got 9th
Yep.
in that. Like a handful of others too. So that just kind of like started the whole us against them kind of mentality that a lot of people had at the time. Kind of at that point back then, from like the anime players to the Street Fighter 4 players, because I'm not gonna lie, most of the Street Fighter 4 players were like the biggest cocksuckers of all time when it came to Gus and Renzo.
Oh, jeez.
Hermes
right.
is probably just thinking of all the shit that happened.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Like I can only shoot. A good example of kind of like a semi cocksucker to someone kind of against it, you know.
I've never heard of a semi cocksucker.
only
Oh,
sucks
He
a
only
semi
went part of the
cock.
way.
Yeah, only part way through,
like
only
just
the tip.
That's it. Okay.
You guys haven't met him outside of Hermes. Gork.
I've met Gord before.
Okay. Gork, you know, at the time really, really idolized fucking Gus and Renzo and really wanted to work hard to be just like them. He was really fucking bad at the beginning. Really fucking bad. And he wanted to prove himself so much that he actually, without, and it sounds so fucked up to say it, but without permission, he went ahead and like used the 801 tag at a tournament.
Oh
and went
boy,
0-2.
Mr. Gork.
Went
Ooh.
0-2. And you can imagine that
That caused drama. Wow.
there was drama, and there was a lot of people who were like defending Andy and Gus and Renzo for like calling them out for using the tag. Like one of those situations where it's just like, this is kind of like a cultural thing now. Fucking top players in our scene, as opposed to like any logical reason as to why it's the way it is, you know. So yeah, that's just kind of one of the really started like the divide, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know if Hermes
Wow,
has any other like examples of shit that he saw.
Not really. I think I came in like a little bit after the drama started, when everything has kind of been settled a little
Yeah.
bit. But I do know of some people that were definitely a little to the taco, you know. So yeah, I definitely know what you're talking about. And there's a couple of people that I can think of right now. But in terms of, I didn't even know that it started that much like drama to use the name.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know about that. That's crazy. Like,
Oh
it's
yeah,
just,
that was
I mean, it's an
like
area code.
what is it called?
Could have been like 385 or the
Yeah,
435.
just like, you guys can use your zip code, but you can't use 801. It's just like, well, what the fuck? We live
What
in
the hell?
Utah, retard. Like, come on, give me a break. But yeah, it was just really contentious for no fucking reason. And that just kind of like back when I was playing too, like I was kind of like, I understood why they were saying it and all that, but like it's like, well, what is the real fucking point of even worrying about that kind of shit if like we're trying our best and you know we want to get somewhere.
So was like their whole point of like not letting others use the 801 tag, was it kind of like a pride thing, like oh yeah, we have our two best 801 people going out and kicking ass, and we don't want anybody to use 801 because if they like suck, then like it'll
They'll
like
sully the name.
put shame on like the 801 name. Was that kind of it, or was it like because that's what it just kind of sounds like to me, I guess. Or was it? Wait, what?
Like they had like well, if Andy's sending people out and he's like the TO and head organizer of the scene, then he deserves to be choosy about shit, which is essentially what the whole behind the 801 tag was. But it was really just like, oh yeah, we have two top players consistently make, you know,
top 8 and crap,
top 3 in the fucking in tournaments or whatever. And if we have some idiot come in going 0-2, show that we're worse than we really are, which absolutely makes zero sense. But
yeah, that makes no sense.
Was that when Gork was going over to Wednesday Night Fights?
Yeah.
that was
no.
then,
the period of time before he like absolutely dropped everything, so he's going to every single fucking tournament he possibly could.
Yeah,
good for him. I was really proud of him. He did pretty good in
I was surprised. He was grinding it out.
After that point, when Renzo and Gus and Andy were like, even when he wasn't using the tag or whatever, it became so toxic that he had to leave because there was no like between those guys in what he was trying to do. He like they would always complain that we're not grinding hard enough, we're not going to out of state tournaments or whatever. But when someone did, then they started talking shit and like belittling the kind of merits that he was actually getting going to these out of state tournaments. But
yeah, there was really no form of reaching out and kind of pulling people up to their level.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
more like it was more like, hey, you guys got to try and reach us, because if you don't, then you're trash.
Yeah, we figured it out. Like, why can't you?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah,
we
we
did
figured out
it.
why
What's
can't
your
you do
guys' problem?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of that going on. That's for
yeah.
sure.
No, I know that mentality all too well.
Gork is in a metal band now as a
Is he?
what is it called?
I'd buy some
Dethrone the
album.
Sovereign, I think.
Oh, really?
I think
He's in Dethrone the Sovereign. I didn't know that actually.
I didn't know that either.
My
Take
friend,
that, Gus and Renzo. He's in
I have
a
a friend
fucking
who-
band, and all you do is play video games, fucking nerds.
I will not watch his band unless he throws red fireballs everywhere.
or punish DPs with fucking throw, dude.
Oh,
Those
Jesus.
are the best.
The Gork punish, dude.
I love those freaking straight up DP, like heavy DP, like straight up the almost unsafe DP, and straight up just run up and grab.
Hell
Hey,
yeah,
hey, Bill's leader, man.
optimal. Hey, you don't drop a punish when it's a throw.
Exactly.
Yeah,
The
0% dropping
0% drop.
unless
Is that a
he
big
goes
metal
to-
band? It's okay sized for here. Like it's a local band.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
one of the local bands.
My friend produces, or at least produced one of their albums. Yeah.
Oh shit! Really? That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's that was kind of the stuff that like started everything. And just like when I was coming into like the scene, I had really no idea how it was until like I started getting better. I was starting to get invited to these private casual sessions.
The sessions.
Dude, I got invited to a private casual session at Andy's place. That was the first time I met Andy.
Yeah,
I think I can't remember. Somebody told me to come down to play Dragon Ball or something.
I think he did do something for Dragon Ball. Didn't
He tried to, pretty early on when Gus was playing it.
Well, I got there, and a bunch of people were playing like Street Fighter down in the basement, and then they all brought it upstairs. It was like just split in half, like half people playing Dragon Ball. And
I got
other
invited
guys
to that one too, but
like Andy,
I couldn't make it.
Andy
I
didn't
did as
actually
well.
play like a single game. Like I think he was playing Street Fighter 4, but once everybody came out, he didn't play a single thing. He just sat on the couch watching everybody. It was really weird.
Yeah, like one of the reasons he does that is because he wants like everyone who's there to be like playing like at the same time. So he's gonna like push himself out because he's not gonna like compete. He just kind of like casually plays now. He was pretty good back in the day
Yeah,
too.
damn,
That's
at the freaking Dr. Hadouken MD Chun-Li. I remember those days.
Yeah, and he couldn't fucking throw fireballs on the left side.
That's right.
So he would always
I
try to
forgot
throw
about
you
that.
onto the other side so he could fucking do them.
I think I used to be that way, like when I was like 14, but
Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
it's
makes
not
sense
even a
because he only
motion.
used charge characters. Yeah, when he was doing the fucking Hadouken motion, he couldn't do it on the left side.
what the hell?
It wasn't even a
Anyway,
Hadouken motion. It was just
regardless,
charge
that's
back
what
and
I-
forward. Anyways.
I definitely had that problem early on, but yeah, I get it.
But yeah, as soon as I started getting like called or like asked to come to shit for Street Fighter 4, I started knowing like noticing all these problems and like hearing like the straight up like BM shit talk that some of these guys were like saying. And once you're in that kind of culture there, like you kind of at that point, I never really like spoke up about it while I was there because it was just kind of like something like you don't want to lose those privileges when it comes to like playing with the best in Utah. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
You were
it
afraid
was-
like if you said anything, they'd fucking be like, "Oh, fuck you, Mark. You're out of the club, dude."
Yeah, essentially. So yeah, in many ways, just like Slug is saying, I was just as bad as the bullies and as internalized type thing at that point, where even though learning and growing from them as a player, like I started like negatively thinking about the other people, or just like, well, I worked hard to get into these casuals. Everyone else can do the exact same. Like, near the end of Street Fighter, that I was really aware of what was going on, and I tried to make a big change. Like I just kind of like stopped going to those casuals, and Mark is still a bully. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, you had top 2 combos. You made it, dude. You didn't have to do
Yeah,
anything
yeah.
else.
But after I left that's when I started like to teach what I knew to like the other guys because I knew they just didn't understand a lot of like the I don't want to call it philosophy of fighting games, but they didn't understand um, to be taught by Gus and Renzo. I
Uh-huh.
guess you know what I mean.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, like, how would you guys say is like an optimal way of like teaching and learning for you personally? Because I know that's a lot. That's like a big problem for a lot of people, and something that like I really tried to
Yeah.
like find like my best methods to get to other people outside of on this
Yeah, for sure.
topic. But like, what would you guys say is like your best method of learning and teaching?
I really like one-on-one sessions a lot, especially with somebody who plays like the character that I play. It kind of helps me to like see them do something and then pick it up and do it myself. Like kind of just like in like school when the teacher puts a math thing on the board and then tells you to do it like right after them. That kind of helps me out a lot. I am not really good. I'm not really good with like just like talking notations. I get really confused in my brain. And so it helps me more to like see it and then like try it and like just have like that one-on-one connection. Because when a lot of people are involved or a lot of people are trying to learn at the same exact time, that kind of makes it really hard for me. I even think like teaching that way is better too. Like, I mean, I don't teach a lot of people how to play stuff, but when I do, I'll be like, here, let me show you this. Let me like kind of tell you how to do it, and then I'll give you the controller, and then you can do it. And if you fuck up somewhere, I'll tell you where you messed up. Like
Right.
something like that.
Sure.
That's kind of like what I do.
Okay.
Hmm.
What about you, Hennes?
Well, I get that question like a lot, like
Yeah.
how do I play? How do I do this? How do I get into this game and such? And how do I get to the next level? And there's always, like these different levels of different like that's just different levels. There's, the beginner level, the intermediate, and then there's the level where you made it. And most people, go through the beginner phase, by playing a lot. Experience is huge and such, and then you go into the intermediate phase where you kind of know what's going on. You just have to, like, there's matchups and there's specific moves that you have to deal with, but there's always that initial like base where you have to break through to actually be able to understand and learn the game.
Mm.
And a good way to be able to do that is just, I tell people all the time, it's just like play as much as you can. And if there is people that are willing to do the same as you, then just 1v1 sessions is always great, as well. Having a good understanding, the more knowledge the better is what I say.
Right.
Just getting in, watching different matches and such, and trying to ask questions, of course, to try and get better. But one of the ways that I got better, well, like one of the things that I used to get better, because when I first started off a game like Blaze Blue, for example, there was literally like almost nothing out there. So I had to kind of do the dirty work, go through the trenches, and try to do it the hard way
Mhm.
by basically getting my ass kicked for like 2 straight years until I finally found somebody that can teach me a whole lot more about it. So
Yeah.
it's always nice to be able to learn that way.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
yeah.
what about you, Robert?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of the same way. I like I'm mostly self-taught with everything. I'm really good at finding information that I need to learn something, and so that's usually what I take advantage of and in trying to learn. But yeah, I've noticed I've grown a lot more when I do get that one-on-one time or that experience playing people who know what they're doing. That's where I've actually grown the most. But initially, I'm generally like better at just like kind of grinding it out on my own and figuring it out.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
grinding it out is a very good way to do it too.
Yeah.
And see, like a thing that gets me a lot is like when people say to like watch top players play. For me personally, it's really hard. Okay, so like when I'm looking up combos and stuff like that, or looking to do like a combo, watching a top player is like good because like of course I could just copy the steps they're doing. But when it as far as it comes from like when it comes to like the mindset of playing, that's a lot of the time where I don't understand, and that's where I think I like to have like a one-on-one thing, because when I see, let's just say like Lars for example, when I see like a high tier Lars player going in and doing all these crazy moves, I don't know their thought process on why they're doing that. So when I
Right.
go in and try to like just carbon copy it, I'm like, oh, he was doing that orbital kick a whole bunch. Let me just try to do that, and I just get fucking wasted because the guy just knows how to space it right, or he can just sidestep it or something. You know, I don't have that thought process of that like top player, and
Sure.
that's one thing that hurts me a lot. That was like one of the hardest things about playing Biken. I was watching top Biken players, and I just couldn't understand why they did the things they did in neutral, because I didn't understand their thought process. You know, and
Right.
I think that's like the hardest thing for me to pick up personally. And that's why I like having somebody like Duffy. Like I talk to Duffy, and he's like, "Oh, I do this because I'm always thinking of like I'll throw a projectile here because if you want to approach, then like I could do this from this like section of the screen. I have all this spacing, and like it helps a lot more in my opinion. I don't know.
Yeah,
You know,
mentality.
I totally agree. That's just the kind of thing when it comes down to like such a divide outside of the constant private casuals and just the one-on-one time that Gus and Renzo played with each other, is that fucking clue how to teach. Absolutely zero
clue.
fucking clue. And
Yeah, they just got it all from experience, basically.
it was a fucking miracle that I was able to deduce that
What
Gus
they
fucking taught me in that stupid fucking game. Literally, if I saw him doing something and I asked, okay, Gus, well, why are you doing fucking like whiffs here or whatever? Oh well, it's just good at this range. Like, wow. Okay, great, I guess. So that I
the
would
great is at
fucking
explaining things, basically,
literally
right?
Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock fucking mentality. Like, look where he's playing against is doing and why he's doing his shit on the other side. And I have to fucking do calculus in my goddamn head to figure out exactly the reasons why. It is
Yeah.
so hard to really like those motherfuckers because it, like you said, what they did was merely from experience. Just like, okay, from the constant sets they played against each other. Yeah, if you fucking whiff here, okay, it's fast enough that if they try to punish, you can fucking do your other move, whatever.
Uh-huh.
Um, and I think that's just like a frustrated me so much while I was at the casuals and just like the whole kind of toxic culture that was going on that made me want to get out of there to help others because that they didn't know what the fuck they were saying. I had to like from it and just be like, yo,
Huh.
I can actually verbally communicate with you guys
Mhm.
and how to improve on that in specific situations. They
Yeah.
can't. So let me just fucking level you guys up instead of you idolizing those motherfuckers over there.
Yeah,
And that's
exactly.
so
Just like raise them up instead of,
terrible.
that's a good point. And yeah, like to be honest, the whole experience thing is huge. Like the more the mentality and stuff that in my opinion, of course you can ask questions about that.
Yeah.
For you to firmly grasp the actual mentality and the actual like experience, it's just experience.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
just like that. It's funny you said that, right? Because that reminds me a lot
Sure.
of David. I think Mark knows exactly what I'm talking about. David plays Eddie in Tekken, or back in the day,
Oh,
and sometimes that he would just do random stuff, like a random thing, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Well, I saw this Korean guy do it, and then all of a sudden I do it, and it doesn't work.
Yep.
Why is that happening?" And it's like, well, it's different. It's just the situation. It's just like it's very. You have to grasp like why you're doing it, when you're doing it, and yeah, I think that all comes with just experience and such. But yeah, in terms of in their situation with Renzo and Gus, I think they got that by just playing and grinding and just playing each other so freaking much.
Yeah. There was no real like actual between the two because if you ever play against them, eh, it's fun to an extent because they're shit talking each other while they're playing or whatever, and you're watching. You're just like, wow, okay, these guys are like pretty good. But when you're trying to like learn from them by asking them questions in match, yeah, it's just there's not a whole lot of thought going into like the explanations. That's
Mhm.
really what pushed so many people like in that like low to mid tier plateau. Okay, they could like take games off each other and do okay, go like 2-2 or 3-2 in tournament, but they would never understand why they just a little bit further, and finally,
Mhm.
waves. Like a good example of that would be Trevor, Blanca Trevor.
Ah, yeah. Yep.
Has literally been the exact same skill level since I've met him. The like current day.
Uh-huh.
He practices and he's got combos and setups and shit, but there's like something
Something
training
missing.
mentality or whatever. It just isn't there. So when you explain something to him, that low to mid tier player like mentality, as opposed to like increasing in like high player mentality or whatever, like you can explain something to him and he can kind of implement it. But like you said, yeah, it's just kind of like, and how can I do this better
Mhm.
kind of thing. So, and that's a big thing for
Right, and like
not just then but now.
So I actually had a decent question for you. Somebody brought up something in chat about chance. Now, this isn't a meme or anything. This is like an actual legit question. Okay, so when a player like, because like he's more of like a low category player, So like when a player like him comes up and asks you how to like do something and is like just so stubborn in like the way they play, they don't want to like really learn, but they keep asking you how to get better. Like how do you put it in a nice way to like I guess be able to raise them up? Because but let's just say I was trying to teach him like a very simple combo. It was like a launcher combo into a simple air combo into a knockdown. And every single time he was doing it, he was just mashing buttons. He was getting frustrated. He wasn't listening. He couldn't figure it out. And like I just gave up. But I mean, that's also like chance. But like I know there are some people, even like some of my friends who are kind of like that too, come up and ask me like, how do I get better at this game? But they're like really stubborn in the way they play and they just
Yeah.
want things to work, Like what would you do at that point? Like is it okay to sometimes just give up on like teaching? Like
I
Ooh.
Go ahead.
yeah. So what I was gonna say is like everybody learns differently. So maybe that method wasn't gonna work for him or isn't gonna
Right.
work for him. He's gonna have to figure out something else. And a lot of times, like even as like if you're trying to teach somebody, you might not be able to appeal to that. But I guess the best way to do it would be to like try and find another way to show him something or uh, do it or try to attack it from a different angle. That'd be the only way I could think of like approaching that.
I mean, I honestly tried to show him visually. I tried to do it step by step. I got him into like 2 hits of like the 6 hits he needed to do. And
Well,
then
like here's also like a specific thing with that specific type of person. I approach it the same way that you approach, let's say it's a very weird analogy, but like losing weight. Like there's always like something that you have to step back and you have to realize what you're doing wrong. And if they're not getting it and they're not like really just processing it correctly, then that's something that they have to figure out on their own because you have to just step back and stop being stubborn about what you do. And that's always
Yeah.
something that I try to teach other people too, is like you're losing, you want to get better, you're doing something wrong. So you have to step back, see what you're doing wrong, but you have to do it. I can't baby to not do this. I mean, I can't teach you don't drop the combo. I
Yeah.
can't teach you stop mashing buttons. I can't teach you that. You have to straight up just take a step back, realize what you're doing wrong, and correct it yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can only
That's
really
just
like
one of the things.
push people into like a certain direction. You can't
Exactly.
really make anybody
Right.
do anything, right? So
Exactly. Give them the necessary tools to be able to deal with the specific situation. Just guide them into the right path, because if you try to, it's the same way like if you're taking a test. Like you can't give somebody like every single like answer to every question. They're not going to understand the material. You have to
Right.
teach them how to deal with that situation, or and such, and they have to go back in and they kind of have to assess their own situation. That's one of the things that I'm very, very adamant on. And if they can't understand that, then I can't help them. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
That's a good way to look at it.
I totally agree with for me personally, what I do, just because I had that quote unquote privilege of learning from some of the best,
Mhm.
and now currently learning from like Jose here and like in Colorado and Tekken. I have that kind of mentality where, like you said, you kind of have to take a step back and understand what you're doing wrong to really be able to give advice to others. Just like doing anything competitive in general is a very inherently egotistical and non-egotistical pursuit. And to explain that, what I mean is, you're playing something. Once you're playing like your game or the way you feel comfortable in fighting or whatever, very, very difficult to take yourself away from that. Think, you know what, maybe what I'm doing here isn't optimal, because you've put so much time into that individual strategy
Yep.
or that method of playing that anything you do wrong is not your fault, it's the other person's fault.
I see exactly what you
Some
mean.
block
Yep.
move, get counter hit after I did it. Oh, that motherfucker was just he was just mashing. He was mashing jabs.
He was
you know?
mashing buttons, dude.
Yeah,
There's
dude.
no way that
Plus
was.
frames.
There was no
Yeah.
way that he did that on purpose. He's just hitting every button.
Exactly.
I'm +3. Why are you mashing buttons? Why are you hitting me?
And just that kind of mentality. As soon as you get to that spot, or you're like on that plateau, really difficult to take yourself away from that if you're not look at yourself deeper and just being like, you know what, I'm fucking garbage.
I'm
Of
garbage.
course, I would have gotten counter hit from my +3 on block button because I fucking waited 6 frames to do anything, It's like that is just like
You're getting pretty robot-y and cutting out a bit.
Yes, I understand most of it. I'm trying to brush up on my robot.
There's
So I'm trying to
there's just like some
translate.
parts. Yeah, I'm like having to translate because there's like some parts that just get cut out, and my brain has to put together the sentence like I'm a fucking savant of the language. I'm like, oh, he must have said you have to instead of have to.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. If
No,
it's better now, I'll start back up.
No, but I definitely see what you mean. Definitely, that's a huge part of the fighting games as well. You spend so much time grinding and labbing out a specific character or a specific strategy that whenever you go out and for some reason it's not working, you start to blame other things other than yourself, and you just refuse to take a step back and be like, all right, there's other possibilities out there, and there's other strategies, and there's other things that I can do to improve my game.
Yeah.
So they're kind of egotistical in that way. Yeah.
And it's really hard too when that's like when you're playing against somebody and they are like saying those things to you.
Yeah.
Like when, like, I don't know, let's just say like you notice that they're doing something that's +3, but yeah, they're waiting a second or using like a heavier button that is not going to reach, so you jab them out of the pressure and you beat them that game or whatever, and then they start taking like they just start talking shit on you, like, why are you mashing? Like, I was plus on that and blah 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 blah. It's really hard when that's like in a casual like or in a local setting too, because like kind of makes you feel like shit because it's not only bad to be that way yourself, but it's also bad to like put that on other people too, like, oh, you're just bad, that's why you beat me, because
like
there's no way I would have lost to that. You like you're just so bad that I wasn't expecting like that to happen, like just something like that. I don't know, it's hard.
Like if they were like a newer player, they'd be upset and like they probably wouldn't want to come back or be like, wow, this guy like blamed me for this thing, I must be really bad. And
I must suck.
Maybe
I beat that guy so bad. I must suck so hard.
I must be bad. Maybe I shouldn't play this game anymore or something. Or I can alienate people for sure.
I know that
and
there's definitely
that's
people like that out there.
Yep.
that's one of the main reasons I feel like the scene here was stagnating for so long after Street Fighter 4 because there were a lot of people who were trying to get into Street Fighter, around the
The
version
Ultra
or
days.
whatever.
Yeah, there was a lot of people getting into it during Ultra. I felt like.
Yeah, and Ultra.
Yeah.
It was so hard though because that a lot of people were just kind of like still in that plateaued mode.
Mhm.
We had been around each other like in this culture for so long that when someone new who gets into the scene isn't really familiar with like the general idea or mentality of coming to a fighting game weekly or local or whatever, it can be very off-putting because I to admit that I like to talk shit to my friends
Yeah,
while they're playing matches and just say, "Oh, you're fucking bad, dude. You goddamn shitty, dude."
that's one of the
Like,
things I love too. Like I love it when we
It's
talk
great.
smack to each other.
but
Don't be a fruitcake. Just it's just little, just little things like little jabs and stuff. I like that too.
yeah. So it's just like when you're unfamiliar with that kind of culture and the fact that people will get salty over losing to people who may be worse, but they were like they beat you in that point in time, like and then you start talking shit about it. That's hard to want to come stay and play
Right,
with
right.
these people. So that's a whole other topic in general. That um, when it comes down to learning, finally answer your fucking question. um, God damn
You just gotta
I'm
look at the chat,
gonna have
dude.
to look at that every
You
single time.
just gotta look at the chat.
Anyway, thanks people in chat for doing that.
Yeah.
Okay, to answer the question about how to teach someone, you have to really put yourself in that individual's shoes and ask them, what is the best way you learn? Because you can't use the same method with every single person. Like you said, there's going to be people who learn better visually, verbally, doing it themselves. You just really have to like talk to that person. You have to really like understand where they're coming from and
Mhm.
he is. And you guys know that I like to talk to everybody. I try to get to know everybody on a fairly personal level.
Social butterfly you are.
I guess so. Not only because I enjoy speaking with people and I like making friends, but because if I am help someone in a game, I need to understand how they think, why they think the way they do. I can do to help further their own learning through my own methods. You know what I mean? So when someone isn't really like responding to teaching them, you gotta. It's inherently in games yourself. Like if you're gonna go against fucking Akuma in Tekken 7, well, you're not gonna fucking like not sidestep. You know, that's just not right. You're not gonna get anywhere. You have to sidestep, and it's the same thing with people who may have different learning styles. You're not going to use a specific method if they're going to, better in another. So when it comes down to it, like they have to be honest with themselves in how they understand and how they play. Yourself saying that, like, okay, just because I learned this way and this is the way I like to learn doesn't necessarily facilitate that learning in other people. You know what I mean?
Right, right. I totally get you.
Let me see if I can give an example. I guess the David example is pretty good because when I was learning Tekken Tag 2, that was technically my very first Tekken game that I learned, and nobody
Fun
here played
times.
it. Oh yeah, fun times. Hermes knows. Hermes knows.
Fun times.
It was
I remember those days too. Yeah, those were the days where you brought
to like
in
put your ego on the back burner while you're learning a new game. Good in another, like that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the same in that one. So I had to really push myself to learn several different methods of like aim on a deeper knowledge, and David is very, very one-dimensional when it comes to thing. Like what you said with, oh, okay, this Korean player does it. I'm going to use it,
Yeah.
not knowing the reasons why. And I remember that first Tekken 7 match or tournament that we had at Game Tyrant where
Mhm.
King stick into the garbage can.
Oh
Wait,
my
he
god,
did?
dude, that's not the first time
Yeah,
he's thrown
Yeah, I
shit.
remember that. Yeah.
Jordan's cousins, the law player.
Oh boy,
Law,
Law. Oh
he
no.
chucked it into the fucking garbage can right next to him.
Hell
left
yeah,
his phone with
dude.
Grabbed the stick by the fucking USB cord and dragged it all the
Oh, I remember that. Holy shit.
Holy shit.
One of the reasons why he lost was outside of him
Was
not
Dragon
really
Tail.
doing a whole lot of new Tekken 7 Eddie as opposed to Tag 2 Eddie. He was doing the same thing with, okay, I jabbed. Wanted to do something afterwards because I'm plus here, but I got hit out of it.
Yep.
And that's just kind of the whole thing. Just like once you get frustrated to that degree, anything you say, and I was helping him from the side. I was literally coaching him, just like, okay, David, you just have to, do some more like quick lows and all this kind of stuff to like get around what he's doing. Once you get into that mentality of do is not working, you're not going to win. You've already lost the whole battle. So you really have to be not only patient with your coaching, but you have to teach the person you are coaching how to also be patient.
That too. Yeah.
What's going on.
Yeah, he has a lot of those moments. He's a very emotional player too. So like
Yeah.
he gets a lot like really caught up in the emotions when playing. I remember the first time I played David, the first time I was playing Street Fighter 4. And that's back when I picked up Bison, and he was a Balrog player till the end of time. So he the first thing my very first thing that he did that I'm like, okay, this is this kind of person is that he kept dropping his headbutt into ultra combos. So he like 3 times in a row, and he like after the second time but that was back when he had that ginormous glow in the dark Kwamba. You remember that thing?
Yeah, I remember that.
That ginormous one. It's just like takes up like not only his whole lap, but like half of mine too. So it was huge, and he kept dropping it, and every time he dropped it, he would go right on his stick, just every time. Every time. And I'm just like, oh my god. I would hit him with the bison grab. So I would forward grab, and then I would step a little bit, and it would turn into an ambiguous cross up. And I would hit him almost every time. And he's like, what the hell was that? Like, I keep getting hit by that. My god. So he just kept like throwing out a whole bunch of different ways to try to cope with his emotions, I should say.
Yeah.
And the second time was, of course, the legendary like when he threw his stick. And when
At the University of Utah?
yeah, when you picked Elena,
When I beat him, I met
yes,
the time before he did that. I was playing Elena. He
yeah,
was
oh my
playing
God.
Balrog. As soon as I beat him, and he fucking chucked that shit so
I
hard.
chucked it mad hard, dude. I don't think that stick survived.
Like, Mark, what the fuck happened? Why is he so mad? I was just like,
He's like,
well, I won, and he was just like Elena. He said,
yeah,
did David expect to win? He's just like, no, and he's just like, well, why the fuck is he angry then? You know.
freaking Elena, dude. That was awful. Ultra 2 Elena. God damn.
But yeah, it's
So, anyways, yeah. On that, I'm sorry, yeah. On like that topic, yeah. There's a lot of people that get like caught up in the emotions and such, and they just have to teach them patience and stuff, like you were saying, and teaching like just the fact that hey, there's more to it than just one simple strategy will get you this result every time.
exactly. And when it comes down to it, there's gonna be those top players who, like I said, don't know how to teach, but they're very easily able to grasp the situations they're watching if they're learning something, apply to their own gameplay purely because they have that experience. And that's one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons that Gus and Renzo were so successful. quickly able to extrapolate data and take it from there. Fortunate for the rest of us who are not able to do that quite as effectively.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
They were able
Anything
to
else
get
you guys
that
wanted
done.
to talk about on that topic at all?
No, I think we pretty much
I
hit
think
it.
we went over
I
it
think that's
pretty
good.
well.
Yeah.
Okay. In that case,
It's really funny. Actually, there's one thing I would like to add. Like, it's really funny because I've never heard of. I don't know. I think I can probably give a unique perspective because Gus is the one that brought me into the scene,
Mhm.
into the Utah scene, I should say, because I knew Gus like before the scene. Like I met him through other means that is not fighting games.
right.
Which is, you know, like his family bought a restaurant from me, and when I first heard of him, and he's first saying a whole bunch of stuff like, you know, yeah, I beat Snake Eyes, I beat Daigo, or not, I think Daigo. He said he started being a whole bunch of names, and I was in the fighting game scene, but I never really knew that there was a Utah scene.
Mhm.
And then when I met him for the first time, he started telling me all sorts of stuff like that. I'm like, wait, what's your tag? And what's your tag? It's 801 Strider. I'm like, who the hell is 801 Strider? I don't know who the hell that is.
Oh, shit.
So I
you haven't heard of me?
yeah. So I'm like, I don't know. I'm sorry, I've never heard of you. Yeah, I was like, I heard beat Snake Eyes, beat this. He's like, yeah, all that stuff. So when I first looked him up, and I saw the very first match I saw of him was when he beat Combo Fiend.
Yeah.
And because Combo Fiend was my favorite Abel so far, back when he played Abel. But then when I saw like Gus kind of take over the reign of best Abel, there was like three of them. There's like Juicebox, Combo Fiend, and
Okay, we
Abel
don't talk
Strider.
about Juicebox here.
Yeah, okay,
Oh,
sounds good.
Oh no.
Sounds good. So, anyways, he's the one that kind of got me into the scene when I first came in, and everybody was like, "Yeah, that guy's the best. That guy is legit. Like he kicks any." Oh, and then the first time I met Renzo was an interesting one too. That was pretty fun. When he double P'd on me with La Tostada flats, whatever they're called, with
breath?
El Forte. Yeah. That was interesting. So yeah, but when I first like came into the scene, like I didn't necessarily know about his whole, you know, his stardom in Street Fighter 4.
Right.
But when I first started to kind of grow into the scene a little by little, I can kind of tell that there was definitely a divide between those two and then the rest of the scene. The one that was probably got the closest was you, Mark. Out of everybody, and I think now that we talked about it today, I kind of know why too, because you kind of start to understand their methods,
Yeah.
and such. So it's actually pretty interesting to see like that development in this situation. So
Right.
yeah.
Okay, well, to kind of like kind of take a from this direction into something else. This kind of goes
Segue.
into the mentality of, you know, the scene itself and friendships, growing the scene and rivalries.
Mm-hmm.
Can't
Okay.
like individually, you know, learn from the top players to obviously not only make friends in the scene, but have someone that you can constantly.
Sorry, Mark.
That'll never get old.
I'm sorry. I literally have no idea what's going on. It's really fucking irritating. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, for sure. No.
Yeah, I know. I understand.
Anyway. It's really important to have these kind of rivalries to help us learn our own best methods for learning and people. And I think a good example of that would be Duffy is the top of my head, and I'm not going to use myself as an example, but Duffy just knows how to like and someone's like gameplay and tactics within like the first round of any fighting game he plays, even if he's not like super competitive in an individual game, because outside of the fact that he knows so many different games himself, has found these kind of like rivalries in each individual game gives him a competitive edge that not a lot of other people in our scene currently have, with that or not. But just from watching him play, him kind of like absorbing information from people, like the few people that he constantly
He
that
definitely knows
constantly
how to adapt. His adapting
Yeah.
skills.
he knows how to adapt, which is such an important thing, obviously, in fighting games than just anything, honestly. But the friendships he's made between these games and the rivalries really sets him apart from, I think, a lot of the people in the scene.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's
I
like-
mean,
I just go. Sorry, go ahead.
I don't know. I was just saying. I mean, like, yeah, you're right. Like, literally every game he plays, he picks like one person out of each of those games, and he's like, you're gonna be the one I'm gonna beat. Like, and that's just how he goes about it.
Yeah.
It's really crazy. Like learning. It's also crazy like learning from him too, because he's like the perfect person to talk to. Whenever you don't know what you did wrong, talk to Duffy, because he fucking figured you out so fast that he's like, oh, well, you just started doing this, so I started doing this because of that, like, and like, then you're like, oh shit, and then, but you have to take his information, of course, and adapt it in, and that's when you start to give Duffy a
Actually
taste of his
play the
own
game.
medicine. But
yeah, you have to kind of be 2 steps ahead of him. So
Yes, you
I
do.
noticed, yeah, you have to be ready for his adaptation, to even be able to have a chance. For
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah, he's also like he's very passionate about fighting games. That's for sure. I think he takes
For
it
sure.
very seriously, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
And he adapts so well. Like he's so good at what he does in every fighting game. That's just to get in your head. That's that's what he does. That he's really good at. But he's like really emotional too when it comes to that stuff. Because
That's actually one of his biggest weaknesses.
yeah,
too.
that's
Yeah,
one
you
of the
ever wanna
biggest
be-
things about him.
You ever want to beat
Yep.
Duffy? Tilt him one time, and you have a really good shot at it. That
Yeah,
is.
Tilt him once, shame on me. Tilt him twice. Oh boy. Yeah, but anyways, yeah, it's when it kind of works like the like in his favor, but against his favor, because sometimes he has like the same things. Like, okay, why isn't this working? And kind of not enough knowledge about the situation for him to actually adapt in time. And
Right.
sometimes there's some things that really get under his skin, and that completely just he falls apart after that.
For sure.
Like one good example, and the thing is about Duffy, after this situation happens, I'm pretty sure that he just labs it out and tries to find a solution for it, which is why I find like Duffy to be so strong, is because he's had so many of these moments, these emotional moments where it's like, okay, what
Mhm.
the hell is going on, where he goes back in and he kind of like fixes the situation, which is awesome.
You can't count on your previous strategy working ever against him again. Yep.
Exactly. You kind of have to play on his field, which is
Yep.
mostly relies on not just like gimmicks and strategies that will get you like one trick ponies.
Yep.
Have to kind of play him at his game, which is just adapting, reacting, doing a
Mhm.
whole bunch of that stuff. Like for example, the biggest one that I can think of was the one where he went to Evo and he fought a Broly player.
I
Oh,
remember
you were
that.
there, right? You were,
I was
you were
there.
right?
Yeah,
Robert?
we were there watching it. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, that was the time where I don't know if he didn't know that Broly had super armor on freaking everything, but he tried to be able to find the solution within the match instead of trying to adapt to the match,
hmm
and that usually leads to getting tilted. It's like, oh, well, this isn't the solution. Then what is the solution? You
Yeah,
start in your own head.
Yeah, after he kind of lost like the first, like, I think it was like the first game or second game, he got like super tilted.
He got very yeah. And he started switching teams, and he started
he swapped,
trying to find a solution. That's what
Yeah,
he's
which
trying to find a solution to
he
that.
didn't need to do. Yeah, he made
No.
like too big of an adaptation there.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, ever since then, like he got blown up by that Broly. Like the Broly was literally super armoring everything, dude. It was like it was pretty funny at first, but because I'm like, oh no, he's gonna do this, and then all of a sudden he got super armored, and I was like, oh god, this is bad. But yeah, after that, he was able to. I'm pretty sure he was able to find a solution and adapt. I haven't seen him play against a Broly player ever since, but
He's a rare character to see, but
very rare.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, but that's one of his greatest strengths and also one of his greatest weaknesses.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing about Duffy is like when he loses like that, what he did after was he went back to the Dragon Ball Casuals area and he just played Dragon Ball like
Yeah,
for
that's the thing.
next,
Yeah, he
like,
just
2-3 hours and just grinded that game like crazy.
tries to
So
find a solution. That's what he
Yep.
does.
yep. So yeah,
If he could do that to like modern day problems like cancer, it's like, dude, what's the solution to cancer, dude? Like he tries to lab out cancer.
Lab out cancer. Do you want to hit the lab and figure out how to counter this
dude.
cancer?
You could be the golden boy, man.
I got pancreatic cancer.
This cancer's plus 10, dude. Plus 10 on block. What do I do?
Exactly. Like something that would be great.
Oh shit!
We need him to
Duffy's
do
gonna
something
save
like
the
that.
world, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just gonna Chris is gonna be like, just we gotta lab out this cancer nonsense, I keep getting 10-0'd by this thing, and it's bad.
Just go talk to Duffy, dude. Like, hey, give up the fighting game scene, dude. Go into being a doctor. We need you there more than ever.
Yeah.
More than ever right now, dude.
Oh, that's good.
Anyway,
Sorry, Mark. We kind of
yeah.
started talking about Duffy.
No.
But I
Please,
mean,
please.
that brought me just into the thing of like how you were saying how he makes the friendships, because like that's just what he does. Like even in casuals, you beat him in casuals, he's like, hey, like I'm gonna be your friend now. Let's play some games so like we could learn together, and like he's really cool like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's definitely when you don't have someone who's like a top player in several games, and you're just kind of like grinding each other out for hours. Like there's only so much like information you can really have, which is why I like to make friends and I want to learn with everybody. So the fact that we don't have that many of individuals who are like super high level in a single game, that's when it's time to like kind of spread your wings, I guess. We've had a lot of people. So I know Robert's gone to Colorado, I think, right?
I didn't go to Colorado. No, I went to. I've been to Combo Breaker a couple times and Evo.
Combo Breaker is the best
and
labbing
CR as
tournament.
well.
I know Jason definitely went to Colorado.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, like when you have like such a diverse variety of people playing games, and you don't have those individual really grind it out with, that's when I think it's super fucking important to develop those rivalries with the not only just to like be like, okay, I might lose this fucking tournament against him, but next tournament that's what I really want to beat, but like others as well, because you need to have those that kind of experience between a variety of, like with Slug. If you've never fought Slug before in like Tekken, you're gonna get fucking bodied.
You're gonna get a toaster
against the crazy people, and you got to play against like say Jordan.
Yep.
But yeah, like just kind of how it was in the Street Fighter 4 era. It was at such that plateaued level that there really wasn't that kind of diversity in play styles that you could really get, which is another reason why there was such a difficult in improvement, because outside of the fact that Gus and Renzo didn't want to help people really, unless you were of everyone was playing by the book. There wasn't that individual craziness factor that kind of helped it,
There's definitely
like
a lot more of that now.
Like an EXDP or whatever.
Yeah, it's straight up.
That's why I'm so glad that our scene has like grown in such a way, just because almost entirely because we've all started like hanging out with each other and spending more time with each other.
Mhm.
Yeah, the Tekken scene in particular, has grown a lot. And
Go ahead, sorry. Yeah, I was gonna say, like it's mostly because like we organized casuals a lot more. We set up, like we all showed up for events, and like honestly it's just like a lot more consistency with Tekken than like any other scene, I think, and that's why it's been able to grow like that.
People are getting better and better, man.
Yeah.
And we're able to like really like pull out those individual unique points of each other from playing each other so much time with each other. that everyone has their own unique play style.
Yep.
More familiar in like Tekken than it would be in like Street Fighter 5 or whatever. But especially now, like more comfortable with themselves and their play style and just being around everyone else, and everybody's more open to like expression and how we talk to each other. Um,
Mm-hmm.
a really unique variety of and mindsets just from that, like in like the moves you use and situations, and I think that's really really helpful when it comes down to growth
Yep.
And I
normally.
think more than anything that helps is the fact that we have people leading the scene that aren't trying to like edge people out anymore and trying to like
Yeah, that's the biggest difference.
gatekeep it. We're actually raising each other up. I
Yeah.
think a lot more now.
That's the biggest difference between the
Yeah.
SF4 scene back in the day versus the Tekken scene right now. Because I think the Tekken scene is probably the strongest scene we got here
It
for
is.
sure. In terms of just like player base and how many people come out, and I think that has big reason for that is a lot of people just want to play the game. They love their game and they also want to get better at the game. Not just that, we also got a few like killers here, like just here in Utah, and that also brings a huge competitive aspect. And that, not to mention that killer comes out almost every time,
Yeah.
Literally
and not
every
isolated in a in a another group. Let's say one that
Yeah.
pertains to 3 digits. So so yeah, like we got some killers out here that really like want to either just play, and then just by them being around, you can level a lot of people up around you.
Sure.
Honestly, like if I would have probably joined the scene around that Street Fighter 4 days and noticed that gatekeeping, I wouldn't be around anymore. Probably, I probably would have just like hightailed it out of there. To be honest, especially well, and like I kind of came in a really good time too, because that's when like it seemed like everybody started becoming like really friendly. Like
Yeah.
When was that? During the SF5 days? When was that?
yeah, I
was,
came
Oh,
in.
KOF days.
I came in, yeah, like a little after Street Fighter 5 came out, and then like right as KOF came out.
That's
Yeah.
right. I the first time I met you, you were playing what was her name? Loveheart?
We always talk about that story about fucking Mark getting all pissed off at
Dude,
me.
he was getting freaking tilted, dude. I've never seen Mark. There was 2 times I
Listen.
ever seen Mark get tilted. Okay, one time was with your love heart, and one time with my Sheik versus his Luigi and his Captain
Oh,
Falcon.
shit.
Oh yeah, I was
Remember when we played Melee?
About
He's
that
like, yeah, freaking forward airing you like crazy. That was I never seen somebody get so tilted. But anyways, yeah,
There
that
we
the
go.
love heart.
The
Yeah.
other person who was there to witness that, I'm not alone anymore. Somebody else can tell my story. That was
No, I was there, and so
No,
was
yeah.
Jeff. And
oh yeah,
there
Jeff
was
was
2
also
tilted
there.
people. That was Jeff, and there was you, Mark. Because I was playing, because that was back when Jeff was like first playing KOF, so he didn't really know too much about the game.
right.
And
Yeah.
then I was playing him, and I was playing my Leona, and I was just being stupid basically. And I was playing Mature back when Mature was freaking stupid in KOF 14, and he was getting tilted about that too. And then you were getting tilted about Love Heart. It was just a tilted room, dude.
Just
Tilted
Not making
room,
any
dude.
sense. Yeah, listen, I'm not gonna say I'm perfect. I'm gonna get tilted. I gotta
I
take my
love
own
it.
advice sometimes
Sure.
too.
Oh yeah, Marcus
I-
tilted me. I don't know how many times. Remember that
one
the
time
Guilty
on,
Gear stream?
stream?
Yeah, that Guilty Gear stream. I've never been so tilted by Mark in my
Oh
life.
shit.
I've never been so tilted so much.
I don't think
in
I've
my
ever seen you that angry in my entire life.
life. It was specifically at you, Mark Amelia. Okay, it was specifically stupid 6H into stupid dash. I couldn't stop it. I was playing Disney.
Yeah.
It was awful.
Yeah. Oh my god. That gives a lot of
Anyways.
characters trouble.
Yeah, whatever. So, what were we talking about again?
Oh, I was just talking about how friendly
you
like
came in,
the scene became when like kind of when I was, well, I don't know how friendly it was like back then, because what would have what were you guys doing like right there? Because wouldn't that have been like the end of Street Fighter 4 into Street Fighter 5, or did
No,
Street
that
Fighter
was
4 kind of end?
that was mid season 1 Street Fighter 5.
that was
People were starting to see like all of the flaws of the game, and like
Right.
a lot of that was basically Twitter was just like people saying like 8 frames of delay and whatnot. And then like KOF 14 came out, and that was kind of the shining like, hey, maybe we have a game that'll save us from Street Fighter 5.
That was not the case, but Yeah, that was when KOF 14 first came out. Yeah. I
Yeah.
remember that first tournament for Street
Yeah,
Fighter
I
5. That was a
went-
fun tournament.
I went to that too. Yeah.
Did you? Oh, that's good.
Or no, I went to the second one. Sorry, I missed the first one. I think I caught the stream of it though.
That's when Mark beat Gus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was upset.
That was
Got up and did that
timing
laugh.
for me. I was so fucking stoked, dude.
That was a great moment. That's for damn sure. And that's when I think Steven won that tournament, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. With
Birdie.
the birdie mirrors. Back when
Yep.
we thought birdie was stupid. Yeah.
He was pretty stupid actually, but
Yeah, he was. Yeah. Yeah, he was.
um,
But yeah. It definitely got a lot better after SF5 came out. And to be honest, like that's kind of how I did it too. Like I actually kind of left the scene SF4 times because I only went to like a couple casuals and a couple tournaments for SF4.
yeah.
I didn't really come back until like SF5 first came out, and like one of the things I was mostly working on during that SF4 days, it was like Blaze Blue, because at the very end of the SF4 days, that's when I started playing Blaze Blue, and I got kind of like I kind of started to meet the AFGC scene of Utah, which was extremely small but extremely good.
Probably around the same time I started showing up because
Yeah,
I didn't start with Street Fighter.
yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
The AFGC scene here in Utah was extremely strong because it was similar to how Renzo and Gus got better. It's the same way that the AFGC. It was Alex, David, Steven, and it was Jeremy as well, which is no longer here in Utah.
But
But
they were a lot more welcoming.
but they were super good. Yeah, everybody was ridiculous, including Steve. So, which was he got second at Evo for BBCS, so or
Mhm.
CSEX. So, anyways, that's around that time where I came in, and I took like 2 breaks. I took the first break where I went to like an SF4 casuals, and that was that, or a tournament, and then the second time where I came back, and that was in the University of Utah. That was when I first met Mark and Under Night. That's what it was. And yeah,
I'll always remember that too because I remember we were the only people on ranked at that time, and
we were the only people on rank, dude.
I remember I would keep getting matched up with you, and you would always decline me.
Oh man.
Well, during that time, I started to like stop playing Under Night, and then one day I was trying to get some footage on you to get put on YouTube, and it's like this guy just came matched up. I'm like, I need some variety, man. Not just that, but this guy's kicking my ass, dude.
I can't put videos of me losing on YouTube. What the fuck is this?
I put like 2 videos. It was gonna be like I always put some matches of me losing just because that's how I learned.
You got to be realistic.
Listen,
Exactly.
listen.
I can't do all of them. Well, sometimes
Fighting
I
game
will.
YouTubers can't post a game where they get blown up online. It has to be a good close match, okay?
Fucking
It wasn't
kills
until-
And it has
I'm
to.
not gonna lie. That kills
There's
me
like
seeing
there's
that.
like 8 wins and then like maybe like 1 or 2 losses sprinkled in. You know, like we don't lose. We don't win
exactly.
every game. We're huge.
Oh, I hate it when they do that. I hate it when YouTubers just post only wins. It tilts me because ever since I grew this beard, I got wiser. So there was one time
just to fucking
it was
the mind power up.
yeah. So like I started posting different videos with just losses and just and that in itself can be entertaining for people to watch.
Oh, yeah.
You know the getting cooked videos. Oh, people love that stuff. So as long as
put up that whole Jam versus Dizzy set, then shit.
damn that whole set, I should have posted it. Was that during my beard days? I don't know if I was.
I don't think I've ever known without a beard, Hermes.
I've never seen
You
you without a
definitely-
beard either.
There's no
definitely-
way. There's no.
You
way.
saw me during the SF4 days during when we showed off that Utah documentary. I didn't have a beard then.
I don't remember.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I don't think at this point anybody knows beard.
See, and I went the opposite with Mark. I met Mark full beard, and then met him as a part of the scene without the beard, and I was like, "Who the fuck is this guy?"
Who is this guy? So,
Dude, you need to grow that fucking thing out again, dude. That thing was fucking wild.
Oh, you're talking about
I-
him? Yeah,
Yeah, I love Mark.
Mark
I love
beard.
Mark beard, dude.
Yo, that beard was pretty glorious. Won't lie. You were
I
as
don't know
close
about
to.
that.
You were as close to, you were like a skinny Gimli, dude. It was
Skinny,
pretty,
skinny
it was
Gimli.
pretty great. And then he trimmed it, and then it turned out to be pretty nice.
Fucking Lord of the Rings OC, don't steal.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's gonna be my new D&D character.
Slim Gimli.
Dude, I'm gonna like fucking go make that in Soul Calibur 6 right now.
Skinny Gimli.
Skinny Gimli.
Yeah, it's like, hey, Gimli,
God
I didn't
damn,
know they
dude.
wore glasses back in the 1500s.
1500s.
Whatever the hell.
Middle
freaking-
Earth. What the hell?
Lord of the Rings. What is that? Isn't that based off in the 1500s or something? Like
No.
medieval times? Some nonsense.
Oh my god. Okay. Fuck.
Anyways,
Yeah, let's move on.
Anyway,
We were talking about friendship and stuff in the scenes,
Yeah,
rivalries
yeah.
and stuff like that.
yeah, I honestly don't really have much else to say on that. Like,
Yeah.
I really appreciate like everyone here. Like, even
Yeah.
without fucking fighting games, like going to see Detective Pikachu was the fucking best. Like, I had a blast.
you guys
Honestly,
went to see
yeah.
Detective Pikachu
Yeah.
We had,
together?
like,
Damn.
10 people.
10 people. God damn.
We invite you next time. What the fuck?
Yeah.
No, you don't have to invite me. That's okay. 10 people's too much.
Oh no.
It was
Honestly,
actually
that's-
really fun. Actually, on it. Yeah.
That's
Was
been
it?
like my favorite thing about like our scene, to be honest, is just like friendship pretty much. Like beyond, because like not even in like our like in the fighting game stuff, like beyond that, we're friends outside. We talk to each other online. We play games that aren't just fighting games. We go out and hang out at arcades and fucking the movies and shit.
Hold
it's
on.
like
Let me interrupt you there. Wasn't going to the movies as a scene like a chance idea? I don't want to put a damper on that, but you know, wasn't that like
Listen. It's
next topic.
It's a little different here.
I just thought about that. I forgot about that. Remember when he wanted to see freaking Sparrow or some nonsense like that?
Yeah.
Oh,
God damn.
See, it's just means like it's all in the execution and like how
Till
you
our
deliver
paths
these
cross
types of
again.
ideas.
It's true. It's true. All right.
Yeah.
Anyways, oh boy, are we ending the stream? Is that it?
No. It was a meme.
Oh, okay, it was a meme. Oh, I was like, is it over? Is the game over? Is that? I thought you were gonna play the game over screen. Like, that was it. But okay, yeah. That sounds like. Well, we gotta actually like fit some time to get your thoughts on Detective Pikachu. Actually.
like, I mean,
Anyways, keep going.
yeah. Anyway,
we'll
going,
save
no
that
more
for
later.
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 go ahead, Brian.
Oh, no, that was it. I was just saying that's my favorite part about our scene is like how good of friends we all are, like outside of just fighting games. Like, it keeps me wanting to play fighting games. There's been times where I've just like, man, I fucking suck. But then I remember everybody's my friend, and it's just like, man, I want to play games with my friends, and I want to get good and like beat my friends up, you know.
Yeah.
So like
Yep.
it helps me in a way to just like come on back, like get back into the grind and stuff like that. It's awesome. Like I've never been like a part of anything that's been like this. Like we have like a really awesome group of people in our scene.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
It's like so important just to have that kind of familial relationship between everybody, because like I said it earlier, and it maybe not as we really bring out the best in each other when it comes to not just like, you know, doing good outside of fighting games, but in fighting games, just because we know each other so well. Like, I don't know
Right.
any other team who is going to fucking me use some of them as references for a fucking job interview, and then they call them up about the relationships we have in fucking fighting games. Like, like I had Romney on as one of my references, and he literally talked about scene and shit like that.
Did he start
how
complaining about
fucking-
Lucky Chloe shenanigans to the employer?
He fucking hop kicked me 10
It's like, he
times.
hop
Don't
kicked me
hire
10
him.
times. Don't hire him.
Yeah, this motherfucker neutral hop kicked and then hop kicked 3 times. Don't hire him.
Breakdance low, mid, high. Like I don't understand.
But no, it's just like I'm glad that we have these kinds of relationships, because it's so important to push each other in positive directions and just really improve ourselves in different ways. That I'm glad that we can go to fucking Village Inn and talk about, fucking Ricardo memes, as opposed to like just constantly talking about like, yeah, I lost to fucking Jordan again. God damn it,
Yeah.
No, it's really nice to have that personal stuff, and it really comes out like too, like when you see your friend go up and do a match, and you're like, "Don't worry, bro, you fucking got this," and then you see them succeed or fail, but either way, you still got their back, and everything's all good,
Yeah, it really gives everyone that added confidence to do their best that they might not have had if, we weren't all friends with each other. So
Yeah, if we were like fucking back in the day, we're like, "Oh, you're going up against 801 Strider. You're not as good as him. Get fucked, kid." I mean, sometimes we might do that as a meme. Geese, you're playing against Duffy? Fucking good luck, dude. Congrats on 4th place, dude.
Jesus.
Oh shit.
It's a harsh world out here.
Yeah. Oh my god. But yeah, that's really all I gotta say on that. I just think it's super fucking great that we've gotten to this point where we can even fucking just have podcasts talking about shit with each other.
Hell yeah, that's what I'm
If you
talking
asked me to
about.
do a podcast like 4 years ago, I'd be like, podcast? This guy's
Do
trying
you
to get
even
fucking
place
esports
top 8 in
real quick.
Street Fighter?
Do you even place top 8 in fucking Persona 4 Arena, dude? Like,
Triggered.
By the way, Hermes, we still need to fucking play P4A, dude.
I am in the process of getting another PS3 that I can stream P4 Arena. But I went to round 1 recently and I played P4 Arena Ultimax, and that was a blast to revisit.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah, hell yeah, it is.
I double cross slash to Duffy. It was fucking great.
Does Duffy even know how to play Persona 4 Arena?
No.
Somewhat, yeah.
Well, I think a
What
little
does he
bit.
play?
He just
Power,
saw me
right?
doing you stuff and tried to pick up you, just kind of carbon copy me, and it didn't work
Yeah.
out. And he switched to kanji.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, it was
No,
yeah, he
he's
was playing kanji or something.
Playing
yeah.
kanji?
He was playing kanji?
That's
was
the
playing
first
kanji
time I've
against
ever
me.
heard him. That's the first time I've ever heard
I
him
remember that. Yeah,
play somebody that's not top tier.
he did that at round 1, which I thought was kind of weird. But yeah, I don't know. I always thought he'd probably be like a show player.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
if
yeah,
he,
he can-
Because he
because
likes
I don't.
the edgy. He likes the edgy like.
He likes the
pressure
cheap
characters.
stuff.
Well,
the
that's what I was
cheap
saying. I don't
characters,
think he was playing. I don't think he played it before. So I'm sure if he got into it, he would definitely play show for
Yeah.
sure.
Like
Like, for-
Narukami or
like-
somebody.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Either way, like they're both like fucking top tier and godlike. So
Yeah, Narukami's cheap as hell.
hell yeah, he is.
Hey, stupid J2B.
You boy
can
for
suck a
life
dick.
over here, boy.
J2B can suck a dick. Anyways,
You're fucking mad, dude.
yeah, well, in a way, 6X can also suck a dick.
I mean, it sounds
Anyways.
like you just need to get good, Hermes. Fuck.
Yeah, I think somebody here needs to get good, and that's me. Anyways, so what were we talking about again? Persona
And,
4?
I think we just ended on like the friendships, rivalries, and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
So
all I got to say on like the last part. I mean, we can probably like wind down on the whole like fucking Utah lore collaboration type shit. Let's just talk about like fucking esports and like here, or just like selling out and just general overview of like these kinds of things. Like I just kind
Okay.
of want to know everybody's like sponsorships in general, and like I don't know if you guys want to talk about Game Tyrant, that's cool too.
Yeah.
For
sure.
but yeah,
or maybe like the availability of competing on online tournaments and locals, stuff like that. Maybe.
yeah, maybe, yeah. But
Yeah.
I feel like I already kind of went over the fucking online tournament shit, kind of.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, just fucking let's talk about esports, boys. Let's just
Okay.
talk about it.
Esports.
They're good if you can compete in them. They're not so good when you have somebody like Game Tyrant throwing a shitty esports event, and then your state kind of looks like a dingus.
Ding.
And
It's,
like we're having our third one this year, dude.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Part 3 of the downfall, dude.
wasn't Game Tire and Expo like moved to the actual venue, not anything bigger?
The Game Tyrant.
Yeah,
venue?
yeah. That was like the Game Tire and Expo or something was like at in the
Yeah.
small venue basically.
I think
Yeah, they did it at their own venue.
Yeah, yeah, and that was
The
awful.
last one. Yeah, the last.
I heard that was absolutely like atrocious. That was
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
and,
they changed it last minute too. Like they
Last
was, like,
minute.
Yeah.
They,
So
they
you have all these
canceled
people. Yeah, you have all these people, traveling out here to go to the tournament and staying in probably the recommended hotels, and then all of a sudden, wait, we're clear over here in BFE Utah.
My favorite part about that was like I didn't go, of course, but like I tuned into a couple of the streams, and like literally every chance the commentators had, they would just like fucking suck suck GTX's dick, dude. They're like, yeah, I mean, sorry we couldn't get that old venue, but look at this venue. We got like a cool statue in the back, and there's free water. Yeah, there's Star Wars stuff here, man.
We got
And
a
look at the
Coca-Cola
mural
machine.
on the wall. Like, oh man, it was like so funny. They were trying their absolute hardest to make it seem like the scene wasn't terrible. And I'm sure somebody like fucking before the commentators went on board, they're like, I swear to God, if you fucking talk shit about this venue, I swear to fucking God, you won't be on the commentator seat for the rest of your fucking career. You got that?
It was
'Cause,
something like that.
It was so funny, dude. Like they were just like, oh, yeah, these seats are actually really comfortable. What are these, plastic? Like, like,
Damn.
like, oh my God, it was horrible to watch.
It was like a bad car salesman trying to sell you on a bad car. It's like this Game Tyrant right over here. It's really,
the fucking
really
hood
nice.
just falls off.
Yeah, the hood falls off and everything. It's like, well, let's take a look at the hood. There's a mirror right up here. But yeah, it was. I didn't go to it. Thank God I didn't go to it. And I heard they still charge full price.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
They didn't pull
change
any
anything.
punches. They like apparently everybody was supposed to get like bags of swag and stuff like that. They just stopped giving that out halfway through. Like people
Lovely.
coming in, like it was fucking horrible. Apparently,
Yeah. First year, I guess the first year was really nice for the Smash players.
Yeah, it seemed
well,
like
I think that's like what happened this year too. I feel like the Smash players got treated fairly decent here too. Because every time I heard anything online, people were just like, "Oh, Smash was fine."
Smash was
like-
good. Yeah,
It was
exactly.
mainly supposed to be a Smash tournament in the first place. Like they,
Yeah.
their whole idea about
Then
it.
like,
was,
why not just keep it a Smash tournament? Just like
Yeah, I
do
don't
what you
get it.
know.
Yeah.
If Smash is the one thing you're not fucking up, and it's like the one thing you can like do without like just keep it
Well,
like
Smash.
that. You don't
Yeah, keep
need
it
to
Smash.
like branch out. If you're good at Smash, do Smash. That's
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
I totally
Yeah.
agree. I think they only had like Dragon Ball along with Smash last
Oh,
year.
man,
think-
I remember
don't
when-
quote me on that,
Yeah,
but
Leffen
I
was
thought-
there.
Well, I thought they did Tekken too, didn't they?
Yeah, they did Tekken as well.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
'cause-
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Slug went. Slug
Oh,
helped
yeah,
them
that's
out.
That's what I
Right.
was saying. I was like, I think Slug was a part of the Tekken
Yeah.
thing there.
because we
Yeah.
were doing our one of our Rambats at the exact
Yeah,
same.
we did the Rambat the same day, which had better turnout, and so all the players that traveled out here
Yeah,
probably didn't see
We sent-
most of our scene actually.
we sent Slug to spy on the inside, give us the details.
Yeah.
Oh, was that
Um,
Slug that did that? That's right.
Nah,
Yeah.
I mean that wasn't our intention, but he was just like, "Man, fuck Game Tyrant, I'm out of here once my contract's over." I think he said something like that. I can't remember. I don't think he had a contract, but
Damn.
Is the full story of the first Game Tyrant?
wait, what?
What happened?
Did I give you guys the full story of what happened at the first Game Tyrant?
I know about it, but if people don't know about it,
Yeah, go ahead
you
and just
should
go ahead and
share
talk
it.
about it.
I
Okay.
think we all know, but go ahead.
For anyone who doesn't know what happened for the first GTX, I mean, this was when we were still like using the venue, like albeit begrudgingly.
Yep.
But I was chosen to like help with doing tournament organization shit like that because I was like, yeah, sure, why not? If I can help out for whatever, I can do it. But not only seed every single bracket game outside of Smash, they had me do it 6 times.
Oh shit! Yeah. Oh wait, I
Damn.
forgot about that. Actually,
Wait, was that the tournament where Chance got into top 8 by doing thing?
No,
No, that was Salt Lake Gaming Con.
Oh, that's the one. Okay, okay.
I need to
gotcha.
pull
Keep
that
going.
clip, dude. By the
Yeah,
way,
because Jose wasn't there. He thought it was the day after. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, so I was in this fucking little group chat with the rest of the Game Tyrant, like big boys, I guess. When they had me seed brackets or, making sure everything was like okay on the side of Smash GG, what was it? Probably 4 or 5, almost a week after they had finished taking registration for entrance. And every single time they asked me, "Hey, Mark, sorry, but we have new players," I would just think, "Wait, local people? Like, what's going on?" It was like top players from out of state, like just showing up on a whim 2 hours before the tournament was supposed to start.
Oh,
So this happened. That individual thing happened like 2 or 3 different times. The rest of the seating that I had to redo was because there was like some random ass like money problems or whatever that was going on, and I had to like fucking do whatever. But that's not the important thing. The important thing to talk about is just like the top player kind of privilege that came in with the
GTX.
last second,
Yep.
So after this had happened, and I had like mentioned it on the Tekken Facebook group, I was really fucking pissed. Like I was super fucking pissed because I had to like redo the seeds so often. But what was going on? And a bunch of our local guys who had heard that they were still like taking entrance, they tried to get in contact with the head tournament organizer, see if they could get added in because they weren't sure if they would have money registration the week before. So they got in contact with him. He said straight up in the email, "No, registration has been over for a week. We have not taken any registration. And I'm sorry, that's your bad, I guess, more or less." But in the back of the scenes, chat, they're just like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna get Jackie Tran out here. We're gonna get fucking who else?
Way Gamble, Flash, Metroid.
Yeah, Flash
Oh,
Metroid.
yeah,
All these
Flash was one.
guys,
Yeah, yeah.
2 hours
My-
before tournament."
my favorite thing about that too was like they were even tweeting out that shit. They're like, "Guess who's coming to GTX, guys? Get hype!" Like trying to fucking bring in some numbers, to come see these top players. Like I fucking noticed that before the tournament, they were tweeting out shit, being like, "Guys, guess who's coming? Like, guess who's coming? Better come on in." Like it was whack.
Yeah. And the worst part about about this all was that the guy who I was like collaborating with on the Smash GG thing, he didn't know this at all.
Oh, he did it.
Doing it was this like one of the owners of Game Tyrant. I can't remember if it was just.
I know who you're talking about, but
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I talked to him at the expo because he asked me, he's like, "Hey, why isn't this person responding to me, or why isn't Mark, coming out or whatever?" I think
Yeah.
is what he asked me.
Yeah.
I just told him flat out, like, it's because of this. It's kind of bullshit.
Yeah. So when I was collaborating with the guy on those, like he didn't realize that weren't getting in for the late reg. He told me that if he knew this, he would have not only or let them in late, but he also and would not have let the other out of state players, in itself because he
Right.
wasn't part of GTX itself. Like they had like hired him to come in to help or whatever.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Which kind of sucks because I wasn't getting paid to do any of that.
So
Everything.
that was
And
my
this
next
guy-
question. If they paid you, to do
Yeah,
that
no,
stuff.
absolutely not. They would not have even like let me in for free.
They would. What?
No, they would not.
Wow.
So
I just
that
imagine working for a fucking company like that. And like, let's just say McDonald's. It's like, yeah, you got to buy a combo meal before you start your shift.
Yeah, exactly. So like when this all happened, like everyone know almost immediately what was going on. But then somebody from the fucking seed screenshot everything.
Wait,
Everything?
it was a. Were you continuing after everything?
What was that?
I don't know if you cut out
It
or
cut
if you
out,
just
yeah.
stopped talking.
What were
I heard everything.
Screenshot everything.
Yeah, no. So literally, someone after I had told everybody what was going on, screenshot everything, put it on our Kappa,
Mhm.
and like totally like at Game Tyrant, just being like, local player really upset about Game Tyrant. This is bullshit. Give me likes, kind of thing.
Mhm.
Like, holy fucking moly,
Yeah.
dude! Like, thing, like, pretty like fucking not about Game Tyrant in the first place beforehand, really. But this just kind of like made it so much worse that this was actually one of the reasons why I took off from Game Tyrant just to like start our own little thing in the first place, because it was just
Yeah.
deal with.
Kind of
So I'm
dumb.
really interested to see what happens this year,
Mhm.
We'll
and
see.
what they're gonna do, because this is a sports story. I feel like these things happen so often.
Mhm.
Not just with like this, but with like LAN centers and things like that. Like everyone wants like that little piece.
Yep.
of its fame, and
Which is really weird. Like, I don't know, man. Like, if I owned like a local game shop or something like that, and I wanted to get into like esports, I think the main reason I'd want to do it would be to help the scene and like grow the scene, not like really do it for like fame reasons or anything like that, or like money. Like, you know, I don't know.
It depends. The profit motive is pretty strong there.
Stone are like, okay, I get it. You know, you're trying to go for like that new big thing, and if you succeed, you're gonna get fucking like them big boy dollars. But
Yeah. Yep.
it's such a volatile like industry already
Mhm.
that
Yep.
can really send you spiraling. I mean, you can kind of see that with Game Tyrant, because Game Tyrant, I mean, okay, yeah, they did fucking like pretty okay their first time, but this either. But the reason why they managed to get like the Delta Center or whatever for their first venue was because on this, because this could be hearsay. I don't know. You didn't hear it from me. They put up their LLC as collateral.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if it didn't succeed, they would have gone out of business immediately.
Yep.
And they just barely scraped
They
by.
put everything up, huh? Damn.
Yeah. Or I mean, they got like investors in or some shit.
Yeah.
This is a big deal.
So it's like it's this kind of stuff that kind of puts a bad taste in the mouth for like anyone in the fighting game scene, or just like in competitive gaming in general. But
Mhm.
like it just becomes more and more frequent, because it's just like, you know, it's gonna be commonplace. Like everybody wants that new breakthrough in fucking technology or whatever the fuck, which is why we had what was that one game place that we went to for the online tournaments?
Uh,
Do you guys remember what that place was called? It was in like
I
Oh,
don't.
it was
it's
fucking.
I don't remember.
One
at
of
all.
those generic games. Let's just call it
land
like
center
yeah,
in West
game
Valley place.
game place.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
Place.
oh yeah, that place is actually like going completely out of business, like bankrupt.
Oh,
They
really?
went
Like
bankrupt? I didn't
they're
even
like
know that.
done, huh?
I didn't know that either. Damn.
Like literally like a week ago.
Oh, wow.
Who told you that?
Yeah. I mean, I guess he's around that area anyway, so he probably stopped by or whatever. But yeah, it's just
Wow.
this is why I fucking hate like the whole idea behind like games and shit like that. It's just it feels so like
Synthetic.
I don't know, villainy, you know, like
Mhm.
it like slimy, and you know you have like proverbial like fucking Blade Runner CEO trying to fucking you know what I mean? It's manufactured. Yeah,
So
that's
are you
that's a
Harrison?
really good.
Are you Mr. Ford? If this is-
I would like to think so sometimes, but
Yeah.
but I don't like just hearing about this shit and like seeing what's done to like some people. Like, okay,
Yeah.
is like a perfect example of the things that like esports has done to a person. Like looking at that guy once, like right now, you can tell like he got really fucked up from that shit.
Yeah, he did.
Even having like some like company trying to do like esports in a scene, I feel like that's really dangerous and damaging to the scene that was already there in the first place. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Which is
I
kind of
think
why
so.
like mentality that I have when it comes to our scene is like so like strict in that manner. Like I don't like having money in this kind of shit. It feels wrong. You know what I mean?
No, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Like I don't know exactly like how you guys like it, but if you want to like give me your takes on that, that's cool for sure.
Well, there's
I mean,
some. Yeah, go ahead.
it just kind of depends on timing. Like when these like people come in, and like if like when like Game Tyrant was like our primary place to play, like it felt like they were like helping market the scene and like getting people out. So it felt like it was a good thing, I guess, at that point for a time. But like once we kind of all started figuring it out and figuring out how to like just take care of this on our own, it's I don't know. It's like not necessary. It's definitely not necessary.
Right.
Yeah.
What about you, Hermes? I know since you're more like on the YouTube side of things, you kind of have like a broader understanding than some of us. Like, what's your whole like idea on sports, but just like the mentality between marketing this kind of stuff?
So one thing I do like about esports is the fact that they can actually promote reasons to go out to specific events and such.
Sure.
Okay.
And they're able to at least help in that regard. But in terms of like trying to, one thing I definitely don't like about esports is that one of the things that I hate, and this also like pertains to like real life stuff. For example, like you ever had like a job where you had a really good standing in the job, you like your job and everything. All of a sudden, there's a change in it just manager, and a change in management, and all of a sudden they start to kind of change a lot of the workplace, and they start to really try to shape it to how they like it.
Mhm.
And it's the same thing here. Like I don't like how esports sometimes kind of, but at the same time promoting the game and actually promoting some good stuff and doing what they like. I also don't like how they come into a specific scene, or they can come into a specific scene and they start to kind of change how things work. Instead of being, like that scene is there particularly for playing fighting games and stuff, and then they start to introduce different practices that can, like, including money, including just like a bunch of like really grimy corporate things that I despise. I really don't like. And there's been a lot of situations where that has happened. So it's one of those situations where it's good to have some kind of presence in esports. I think it is, just to see, get the name out there, get the game out there, get the players out there, and get a whole bunch of different recognition for that type of scenario. But then there's the other side to that coin, which is of course the grimy shit that they start to kind of shape things to according to how they see esports, and that's not how the fighting game community necessarily works. Sometimes, very grassroots community, and I think you guys have heard it, and I've heard it many millions and millions of times, but I just keep iterating, which is, it's a very grassroots community. This is a community that absolutely loves their game, and when they start to incorporate different practices such as, play this game because of the money, or start to do, things similar to that nature, that's what I don't like, and that's why I try to like stay away from esports in particular. Like you will never see me go, even though I have a presence in the internet, and I have people contacting me like a lot, and you'll never see me like start working for a company or start changing my ways because I like to have a voice and I like
Right.
to not, have somebody talk for me or instead. I like to talk for myself. So that's why I'm like, I like to give out like a big example of this was BB Tag. Like BB Tag, I swear if I like was under the Arc System umbrella, then I would not really like I probably would talk nothing but good stuff about the game. But like I love to like state my criticism
Hmm.
specific things. So I don't necessarily I always like to keep it real. That's just it. So anyways, that's just a little thing where I'm like you'll never see me go like full blown out esports just because I don't like that stuff.
All right, Hermes, welcome to our new esports crew. Here's your combo drone made by the Arc System Works guys. It has the Arc System Works art on the front. You must say how much you love this art, how awesome it is, and how good the buttons feel. Also, you're only playing BB Tag for the rest of time. Because that's where the money's at. And when the new Arc Sys games, they're coming out with the Grand Blue game? All right, Hermes, off to that. You better go make 20 videos about that game. All right, see ya.
Listen.
Paycheck's in the mail, buddy.
No, listen, that game is dope. That game is
No,
sick.
that game does look sick. It does look sick.
That game is sick as hell.
No, I'm just like I'm
no,
like
you're good.
putting it into words like kind of like what you were saying though, like being taken over by like an esports company or whatever, like and like being put under like a brand like that, like
Exactly. You're
Like-
good. You're good. Yeah. But
you
yeah,
fucking hate the combo drone, but they're paying your fucking bills, so you got to use it.
how am I
You
gonna pay
know?
for my house? Open up a Patreon. Start posting selfies on my Patreon. Hey boys,
Hey, boys.
you guys want to see some pepperoni?
Drinking my morning coffee, the blend. With
The
my
blend.
drone.
Be sure to go to patreon.com/coefficient. Sign up for the top tier Patreon tier.
Top
to
tier
see-
Patreon tier. We'll
to-
do a
to
to
camera.
see to get Hermes' private Snapchat for those sweet pepperonis.
Oh my god.
I'm the new.
Old Pro Jared.
Pro Jared.
No.
Oh, no.
Okay, I don't want to talk about that.
Oh, boy.
I actually didn't know who this guy was until like everybody.
I
started.
did. I got super
I'm
upset.
with you. I'm with you.
He was one of the guys who got me like he was one of the guys who inspired me to like want to create stuff on the internet, but like
Ah.
You'll
never guess who my inspiration was when I first started. Pretty sure people in this chat or in this
A
room.
million.
Maximilian, dude.
Fuck,
No, it's not Maximilian.
Oh shit. Is it JonTron? Is that what you said?
No, it's not
Geese
JonTron.
Geese is guessing JonTron.
I think that was for you.
Oh dude, I am JonTron.
Exactly. So that's why I'm like, okay. Dude, does nobody know really?
Oh,
No.
Robert might know. Do you know Robert?
I'm trying to think.
I actually want you guys to guess straight up. Oh, Shadow knows. He's from my channel. He knows.
think of like some big boy anime YouTuber.
I wasn't always anime, Mark.
Shit, I don't believe that for a second.
I wasn't always anime, Mark. I'm 100% real.
This makes it more difficult. Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith.
People started calling me Silent Bob for the longest time, and I didn't know who
Holy
that
shit.
was.
Oh,
I'm like,
damn.
who the hell is
You
Silent
do
Bob?
look like Silent Bob. Holy shit.
Oh my fucking god! It's only been a joke for like the past like 3 years.
I thought
I just
didn't know
barely
who
put it
Silent
together.
Bob was. I didn't know who Silent Bob was, and I looked it up. It's Kevin Smith. I was like, oh, well, duh.
I honestly don't know Hermes.
Okay,
yeah, I'm
well,
trying to think.
Okay, well, I'm about to say it. It's DSP.
Just-
Oh, actually, I think
Really?
you told me about that a long while
Yeah.
ago.
Wait,
DSP.
really?
Yeah, DSP.
Okay, I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah, that was
Subscribe to Hermes at twitch.tv/thecoefficient to watch him jack off on stream.
That's how I.
After hours, listen, after hours. We're gonna be
Oh,
on
Lord.
Chatterbait later.
The
boys.
chatterbait, not
Chatterbait,
Nah,
dude.
dude, you don't get nearly as much money on Chatterbait. You got to go to X Videos live streams.
Oh my god, he has the tech already. He's like he's like this internet thing is fragile, dude. This internet fame is fragile. Got to have a backup plan.
We gotta go to Pornhub Live.
Now that's too esports. We're not quite on Li Joe's level there. I don't know about that
Oh,
one.
yeah. Can't get the Brazzers sponsorship.
But is there something about Li Joe? Like,
Have you seen? Did you not pay attention to that? Like back when it happened, he got sponsored by Brazzers for like 2 months.
Oh shit, dude! I want to be sponsored by
A bunch
Brazzers.
of tournaments like made like had problems with it, and like even YouPorn actually sponsored quite a few players.
Yeah,
too.
I know YouPorn did. Yeah,
Yeah.
Dude, that's
YouPorn
sick.
sponsored a Smash player. Remember that?
Dude, where's my ex-hamster
But I think it just,
sponsorship,
like,
dude?
It was too like volatile. I guess like a lot of tournaments
I
didn't
imagine.
want to advertise porn companies,
Yeah.
and so
And they also didn't want to Valve.
yeah.
Like, what was the e-cig company that also sponsored Valve Master?
Oh,
That's another one as well.
yeah.
So, anyways, yeah, there was the YouPorn one. I know about that one. It was a Smash player that they also.
Yeah, Smash, and I think even like Filipino Man. I think he was.
Yeah, Filipino Man as well. Yeah.
for a while.
It was funny because that was the year where Evo they were streaming the Smash Top 8, Smash 4 Top 8 on Disney Channel. So people were like, keep YouPorn Fatality out of Top 8. We're gonna expose him to a bunch of children, and they're gonna be like, "What's YP?"
That's sick. That's so
Team
sick.
YP. Yeah.
Team YP.
Yeah. So
I didn't know about
mean,
Brazzers,
yeah.
so that's crazy.
Yeah, they sponsored LA Joe, but it wasn't a very long thing. But I remember watching the streams where he was talking about like how he would get it as a joke, and then he like made calls and like eventually
got
it
it.
happened. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh shit.
But yeah, what is your stuff on esports, Robert?
I mean, I agree. Like, it gets to a point where everything starts becoming like artificial, and that's where it gets like really like that to be a problem. Like when they're trying to like the for TV stuff like is what bothers me, or like the reality TV type stuff where they're like trying to instigate like certain relationships and stuff with people. I think like the E-League stuff was like the stuff that really I really
Comes to
couldn't
mind.
appreciate. Yeah, like watching like the Street Fighter 5
E-League.
stuff there. Yeah, that's
Like,
where it goes a little too
is-
far.
Is that the one with LTG and stuff?
Well, yeah, the low tier god. Yeah,
Oh,
even
yeah.
recently, yeah, where they did the whole reality show or whatever,
Yeah.
and they basically tried to turn these guys into reality stars, and I don't know, that's going too far to me. But I think esports is good, like you said, in a lot of ways. Like and I was mentioning earlier, even is like because they bring the marketing, they get the word out there, right? That people know, and the surface level things that people are attracted to, like money or like cool prizes or whatever, that'll get people to come out, and that definitely motivates people to an extent. But that kind of stuff is surface level, right? It's not going to keep people around. So that's where it becomes a problem. And so what I like is our approach is we're building our scene more on like our community and
On our terms.
on our terms. And if esports wants to come in like sponsor a tournament, that's cool, right? But like
exactly.
as long as it's not like overbearing or they're trying to take complete control over it, that's where it becomes like an issue.
You gotta have a weekly, you gotta have a monthly, you gotta have a daily, you gotta have a private network of people, all that stuff.
I think for me, what really kind of bothers me is the individual kind of like sponsorship type stuff that goes along with it. So when I see people who have sponsors like YouPorn or whatever else, are basically being the marketer for them, which is fine. That's essentially what sponsorship is like supposed to be doing in the first place. But when it comes down to it, like there are so many people who are so interested in sponsorships that they don't really think too much about the company that is sponsoring them. The company is giving to them for just wearing their jersey. So like when I see like streams with like 6 ads for 6 different companies, that's when it gets dangerous, I think. Like do you really even like care about like the products that they're like advertising?
I mean, and that just goes into like selling out though. Like
I know exactly.
You have
like at that point I feel like as long as you like believe in your product or whatever, like I don't really think that's a huge deal. Like if I had 6 sponsorships right now for, let's just say, like, I don't know, like
Cup
a fucking good, like, yeah, Cup Noodle. I fucking love Cup Noodle. Like
Yeah.
my
Pornhub.
PC and
Pornhub.
Pornhub. Yeah, I love Pornhub, dude. Go there every day. Fucking I personally wouldn't think that's, I'm not selling out. I'm just getting paid money to like represent like a company that I think
That I like. Yeah.
that I like. Like, and that's like one thing I don't really like is like the term selling out. It's literally just about somebody just giving up their core values and just shilling for money. That's just what it comes down to. As long as you don't do that, I think it's fine, honestly. Like if you ever saw me with like a fucking like, I can't even come up with a good example. I'm not a car guy, so if you just saw me like I had like a fucking Honda ad on my fucking, like, on BriGuy show like right now, then that'd be me selling out. I'm like, oh, I need fucking money, you know?
Yeah.
But then it's like, it's also hard to say that too, because sometimes people like need like money for stuff, you know? Like I don't know, it's hard for me to like really shit on somebody for picking up something like a sponsorship or something, because like I get it, I need fucking money. Because honestly, if Honda did come up to me and say, yeah, we're gonna sponsor you, I don't fucking like Honda, but I'm gonna take that because I like money. You know?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, so it's like it's a weird line. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's like a really difficult one to like really talk about honestly, because when it comes down to it, that's all people really want to be able to do. Like they obviously want to make money playing games or doing whatever hobby they have. But as soon as it gets down to that point, we get into a cultural area where bring like, okay, well, when is it like okay to talk about these things with these players? Like obviously you want to make money, you want to do whatever you want to do, but you are the spokesperson for that company who is directly affiliated with you. So like obviously you want to like the product, things like that. But like you're gonna be like, well, these guys are doing fucking Chinese sweatshops or whatever. Do you fucking support that shit? Like, no, like it sounds like it, but it really is important to think about, because money aside or whatever, you are directly supporting and showing that these people are what you want. This is what people should be buying. And
yeah, I get you on that end.
Bad taste in my mouth, and what really like distaste for esports come to fruition just from seeing lots of things like that. Like, I mean, I don't know, e-cigs, Pornhub, whatever. Like, and you like the product or whatever, by all means, please. But there has to be some like some moral standing that you have, where it's just like, do I really the money that much over, you know, what kind of fucking shit is going on with this company? You know, like if I was to get like buy it, like be like acceptable given like what has been happening at their company recently, you know? So it's just kind of I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. And to be honest, I can bring up some unique lighting here, because I've been approached by a ton of people.
Yeah.
Ton freaking shaving people, underwear people.
Damn, dollarshaveclub.com.
No, that wasn't it.
Oh, shit.
Brian's showing for his own sponsor.
If it was Dollar Shave Club, hell yes, I would 100% rock them.
Dude, I have a Dollar Shave I have a Dollar Shave Club subscription right now. They're fucking great.
They're awesome. Yeah,
Dollar Shave Club representative listening. We want sponsors.
We want sponsors. Yeah, there was a lot of like different companies that came up to me. It's like, hey, you can get paid if you do this, if you do that, and stuff. And I'm just like, you know, I wonder if a lot of people like around my size do the exact same thing. And I'm just like, and there's a lot of like stuff like this specific apps. There's one that I really didn't know about. Have you heard about Amino?
Yeah.
Yeah, Amino like approached me, and like a whole bunch of different other like companies like that. I'm just not. I don't like using it. Like it's funny because I'm the type of guy that I'm very basic when it comes to like the type of stuff that I use. So I'm just like, I don't use any of this, like nothing. Like I had an underwear company come to me, like, if you rock this and they use this link, you get paid and stuff. I'm like,
You just come out and on stream in nothing but
yeah,
your
with the
underwear.
underwear.
Man, do I love Fruit of the Loom.
You come out wearing
So-
a giant fucking grape outfit, dude.
Hell yeah, dude.
So there's stuff like that, and then sometimes I tune into streams, and they have those exact same companies that came to me, and I'm just like, oh boy, somebody's doing it for the money.
Oh yeah.
So it's stuff like that where I'm just like, man, it's nice to get paid for small things like that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I hold my name and my brand to a specific standard that I'm just like, you know what? I don't really want to use things that I don't use, and I don't want to support things that I don't necessarily know about 100%.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
Right,
if it was
and-
like Razer or Logitech or freaking XSplit or Elgato, I'm like, hell yeah, come over here. I'll rock your nonsense all day. But like, there's specific other ones that they start to, it comes a point where it's either like quality over quantity and then quantity over quality. So a lot of streamers, like I've seen that take in a whole ton of different sponsorships like that, and that's how they make a pretty penny. And then there's the
Right.
people that have the quality sponsorship. That's a really good one.
Yeah.
So,
And you also just gotta like also look at the guidelines of the sponsorship too, because I mean, I would
Yep.
never take a sponsorship that would be like you said, how it's like, oh yeah, you have to show our product on stream and like tell us nothing but good things about our product. Like that would be hard for me to be like, okay, I agree to that. Like you have to have freedom of speech in there. You can't just be told what to do. Like, you know, like I feel like
Not a
that's
robot,
a
you're
really big thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of companies, I think companies nowadays are like getting really smart with that. I've seen a lot of mobile games, and I think Ubisoft has been like getting some YouTube boys in, but they tell them they're free to say whatever they want. Like,
which I don't
whether
mind
it's
at all.
whether it's good or bad, we want you to talk about this game because you're a presence, and we think that our like the thing is like they need to come to you thinking that they have a quality product and know that they don't have to tell you that you have to say good things about it.
Right.
Like they should know that what they have is good, and in return you'll say good things about it because you'll know from experience that it's good, you know. So like when somebody comes up to you and is like, hey, you gotta make sure you don't talk about the flimsy stick or like how the button fell off when you were using it. Don't say that shit.
Yep.
Just say it was a perfect experience, you know.
Yeah. Which is why I think there's so many like players like not necessarily right now, but as of recent, like that hop from like sponsors so often, because I feel like they get so excited when they first get that like tag next to their name that they don't really understand the whole like process of being corporatized in that way. So it's just kind of like when it comes down to it, you really got to do your research, and like you really got to understand like billboard for that company, and not only is what you do in their place as like a sponsored player affected on them, but what they do as a corporation is also affected on you.
Yep.
But yeah, that's really all I gotta say on it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's a really weird line. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, whatever. Like as long as you're not letting the sponsorship dictate who you are as a person, or like even like the content you put out. I don't know. I don't think sponsorships are too bad. You should definitely look into what you're doing, you know. You don't want to hear that your company was just caught in a slave trade or something like that, you know. You don't want to be sponsoring any companies like that. Like sex trafficking, shit like that.
Who brings over top Tekken players 2 hours before the tournament starts, you know, that's just kind of like things like that.
Exactly.
Anyway, that's basically all I really want to talk about. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, well, I'm glad you got to put all that you wanted out into the open.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it was a little sloppy, but
You know, I think you did a pretty good job. We didn't talk about Street Fighter Chun-Li costumes one time.
oh, thank Christ, dude. The last thing we need to talk about is the fucking 35 plus Chun-Li costume, dude.
Can I get 35 plus jury costumes? I'd pay for those.
Oh no, Hermes, don't do that. Dude.
I'd do it. I'd sell out. Give me my jury costume. Actually, give me an IRL jury. That's even better.
All right. Boss Geese wants a closing question because that's usually what we do. And that's exactly what I was going to ask, Robert. What would you guys want to see for the Street Fighter V's next DLC costume for Chun-Li? Go.
That's his question? Are you serious?
No. That's what I was going to ask.
Like, that's oddly
Robert guessed
specific.
it.
Okay.
No, yeah,
Okay.
that's the question. What do you guys want to see for the next Chun-Li DLC costume? This
That's
is a meme.
legit.
This is
That's
a meme.
legit the question. You
That's
don't want to ask
legit
it?
the question.
Okay, cool. All right. Sounds good.
Okay.
I want to see a Tracer Chun-Li costume for the next DLC.
Oh, of course.
Hell yeah, dude. The lightning legs mixed in with a fast character like Tracer, done. Easy clap.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Okay, I just gotta say Braxton's comment is fucking killing me, dude. Give me a jury costume where her nasty ass feet are covered.
Oh no.
Give her some goddamn shoes.
She got some shoes on a lot of them, actually.
Oh, my lord.
Doesn't she? No, doesn't she have like?
She has a school costume that has shoes.
Oh yeah.
I know every single costume that has that has shoes in every
Oh
single.
my god.
Okay.
You go.
Costume. How about fucking?
How about a costume that lets you do lightning loop legs like in SF4?
Yeah, that would be fucking sick, dude.
A pay to win costume, dude. Why not? Throw it in.
I don't know. How about like for fucking retro costumes, like other.
Oh, do they have a third strike costume for her in SF5?
Her third strike
Oh,
costume is
same
her
one.
SF5
Yeah,
costume.
it's just the basic
I'm
costume.
pretty sure it's the same.
Wait,
yeah.
is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I haven't paid
You're talking
attention
about
to
the
it
alpha one.
Yeah, maybe I was thinking alpha.
No, she
Yeah,
has the
the-
alpha one too, doesn't she?
And
Yeah,
yeah,
of
I
course
think
she
I think
does.
they've got most of the classic costumes.
They got like
Literally,
3
I don't
versions
know.
of her alpha costume.
Like what else could you do?
I literally cannot think of any other costumes that you could possibly do with Chun-Li. They have literally
Okay,
down
just
every-
give me a fucking DLC costume for anybody on the list. Just do it. Anybody.
Pop star Sakura. Fuck it.
Hell yeah.
Damn,
I don't know.
dude.
Dude. This is such an awful question. Fuck you.
This
guys.
was a fucking horrible question.
This was pretty
Was-
bad.
All right, companies you want to be sponsored by. There we go.
Okay, that's
That's
Oh,
better
that's
and
better.
on topic.
Okay, all right.
Way better. By the way, I'd give an invisible Chun-Li.
What was that? Sorry.
I'd give an invisible Chun-Li costume. Straight up. you can't see her.
Invisible. You just can't see her.
It's a good
Not
one.
even her head. She's just wearing the whole. It's like a
Nothing.
bodysuit.
There's nothing.
Okay. Be hard to play against.
Just
but-
delete this fucking game,
That-
dude.
That's the point. She's not there.
Okay. Anyway.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Corporations, go, Robert.
Companies.
Company I would want to be sponsored by.
Yeah.
Honestly, it'd probably be like a computer gaming company because like I'd need parts.
I need,
Okay.
I
that-
need parts. I need parts.
Okay.
Okay, Mark, go.
Obviously, I would want to be fucking sponsored by Psy Games. Is that even a fucking question?
Hell
that's a good
yeah,
one.
that'd
That's a
be
good one.
sick,
Would you
dude.
really?
And
Is
when
that
I
like
go to,
legit?
I get top 8. Give me a free spark for Grand Blue. Easy.
You just
Dude, I
get
don't give a
supplied
shit.
with gems all day.
I don't give a fuck. Just pay me in that. You could. I'll pay my way to any tournament as long as I get top 8 and I get a spark for sure.
You don't have to pay me. Just give me a free spark.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Don't even give me a room. I just
I'll sleep outside.
Back in the garbage.
sleep. Just make
Yeah,
sure I get 3 Dama bars in my inbox when I'm done.
All right,
All
Brian.
right, Hermes.
Choose your thing.
Oh, me?
Brian.
Yeah.
All right. I would like to be sponsored by DollarShaveClub.com. Go to DollarShaveClub.com/BriGuyShow to get their $5 shit shave and shower combo. You get. I don't fucking think for it, but I started laughing. That's no. Honestly, I don't know, dude. I think.
Are you actually sponsored by Dollar Shave Club?
No. I've been
description looking for the
practicing
dollar.
though. I've been practicing for fucking all this time to just get that sponsorship, man. Everybody has it. Or Audible.com.
Audible.com.
Everybody has Audible.com and fucking Dollar Shave Club, dude. Those are the two I see everywhere.
No, it's NordVPN now.
Oh,
yeah,
NordVPN is a
no.
huge one too. Yeah,
That's
dude.
the big one.
Yeah.
Dude, honestly,
VPN sites.
being sponsored by Atlas would be pretty cool. I think they've published a lot of really good games that I really like. They make a lot of cool shit. They give their IPs to the video game companies. I think that'd be pretty sweet.
MeUndies. Yeah.
That's the underwear
That's another
company.
one. Yeah.
It was about.
Yeah.
I haven't actually seen that one.
Yep. Watch out for them. They're lurking.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I'll do. I'll just get JonTron to sponsor me. There we go.
Oh god.
I look. This is how it'll go. I'll just message and be like, "Hey, I look like you. I also do stuff online. It's a deal, right?" And they'll just eck at me, and then there we go. I get paid.
Nice.
Okay, Hermes.
I have two answers. I have a meme answer and I have a real answer. The meme answer is cornflakes. Kellogg, call me up. I'd love me some cornflakes every day.
Cornflakes are good, man.
Oh, I'd eat it every day, just on stream.
Do you really?
I would love to eat it every day. Oh yeah, 100%. Here's the thing about having like low tier cereal, because it's low tier taste, and you can't get sick of low tier taste.
I don't know. I get pretty
The
sick of
basic one,
fucking
no?
eating McDonald's every day.
Well, that's not low tier taste, my boy. Have you had those hot and spices?
Talking to you, Slug. I had the cheesy McDonald bacon fries, and those are delicious.
Delicious. Me, actual answer, I'd probably get sponsored Gato, or like fucking what's their face? Like yeah, probably Elgato. They have a lot of products that I really, really.
Yeah, they're awesome. They seem like a
really
pretty
good.
decent company too.
Yeah, they do. They are.
For like an actual real sponsorship, I think I'd want to do. I think Streamlabs, dude. I've been using Streamlabs, and
Yeah.
by God, it's been a fucking lifesaver of a fucking app, dude. That thing,
Yeah.
it fucking does everything I need it to. I don't need
Yeah.
to. I don't need to do a goddamn thing, dude. When I was using
great.
XSplit and even just regular OBS, I was like,
Mhm.
"What the fuck is going on?" Everything was so confusing. This Streamlabs keeps it nice, easy, simple to use. The user interface is great.
You literally are just a pro. Like, if I wanted someone to shill my shit, I would just turn it over to you.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
You're just. I'm so proud of you, but also I'm kind of disappointed at the exact same time.
I'm ready, dude. I'm ready
Brian's
to.
already sold the esports, man.
I'm already done, dude. I've been lost to the void. Can't get me back now. See you with those
He's already
Granblue codes, boys.
See you on the other side.
Oh man, I'm so happy I don't have to get into that Grand Blue
Wait,
like
Hermes,
versus
how many are you
gotcha.
getting?
Huh?
How many codes are you getting?
I'm getting 15 US, 15 European.
Oh, holy shit!
So I'm getting 30 in total.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll be giving them all out.
Are you doing it for like sweepstakes or something?
Yeah, like a giveaway.
Oh, nice. Why don't
So-
you just say you only have 10?
Yeah.
Well,
10 US and 15 EU. You know.
Yeah.
you come to me with an email that says, "Hey, sorry, but you're not in," and maybe I'll consider you. Maybe.
I'm gonna kick your ass if you don't give me a fucking code.
Oh shit! This is the bully Hermes stream now.
The Bully Hermes stream.
Yeah,
Bully
this
Hermes
is like,
stream
I
for
need
his
a
fucking
code stream.
Granblue codes, dude.
This is the I need a code stream.
That's the real reason I brought you in. It wasn't to
I
have
don't
you in this
want-
podcast. We don't care about your input. We just want the codes, dude.
Did you guys sign up?
Did sign
I
up.
did sign up,
I
yes.
didn't. I'd actually been a lot of stuff happening.
Because if you don't sign up and you say, "Oh, I didn't get in because I forgot to sign up," hey, guess who's not getting a code anymore?
Okay, I'm signing up. I'm gonna
You
sign
better
up
sign
right
up.
after we get off this shit.
Right,
Yeah,
if I
you
don't
sign
get
up.
one, who else are you gonna fucking have sets with?
Oh man.
This is
I
a
mean, I
big deal.
really hope that I can actually has matchmaking, actual
Yeah.
lobbies. You can bring
I have
people
a
in.
feeling it's going to be like rando matchmaking, like every other beta. But
Oh
we'll
yeah,
see.
like every other Arc System beta.
Yeah.
There
Well, I
was
don't know. It was like BB Tag. Like BB Tags. I guess that wasn't really a beta, right? But like you could go onto the
Yeah.
lobby and play anybody. So
Yep, that
That
was
would be
pretty
good.
great. And
Hopefully they do
BBCF was the
that.
same. So Dragon Ball was not like that because Dragon
No,
Ball
it wasn't.
was stupid. That
Yeah.
beta was awful.
Yep.
But yeah, I'll be giving it away
Sweet.
on stream and possibly some on Twitter.
Possibly some to your boy.
Possibly, right? Possibly. All
All
right.
right. Well,
Anyway, I
cool
think
guys.
that was
Thank you so much for being on here, and thank you everybody for listening. If you want to go follow these fine gentlemen on Twitter, their tags are at Marcus Spartacus for Mark, for Lana Del Make, at Bertforce for Bertforce, and at the Coefficient for Coefficient. Thank you guys so much for being on. I had a blast learning about the dark ages of Utah and the fighting scene. It was a great time.
Mhm.
I think we're cutting out.
Awesome.
Oh, are we cutting out? Is that what's happening?
Well, you did for a little bit, but that's okay. It's the end.
All of us were, yeah.
Well, all I
That's the
did
point.
was tell people to follow you on stream, and thank you for being here, guys.
Oh, thanks
No,
for
you're good.
having us, man. Shit.
Thanks, Brian.
No, yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
thank you, and go ahead.
No, I was just saying that Mark, he got his cutoffs, at the wrong part, and then you got it at the perfect point.
Hell yeah.
Got to fix your microphone and your internet situation, boy.
Shut up.
All righty, well, thank you guys, and we'll see you next time, guys. Everybody, say goodbye.
Later, boys.
See ya.
Peace.
Until our paths cross again.